Oh, hang on. I'm gonna oh man.
Just go back in there.
I am. I'm in there. But I gotta hold on. I gotta hang on. I gotta like make a new make a new stream real quick and stick a thumbnail on it and let everybody come back in.
I don't think you gave me all the permission.
I mean, you're admin. Okay, I'll just let everybody while I download this thumbnail. I'll let everybody come back. It's showbiz, baby. Okay. Thumbnail on there. Okay. There we go. It's working. Thank you guys for coming back. Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to, sorry, one second. I'm going to pull the other one up real quick on YouTube. There we go. So I can see the old comments. Can I see the comments? Here's the trouble, is that I'm not well versed in streams, in StreamYard rather. But does it have the comments? Oh, I had some starred comments that I
know. I was just trying. I'm like doing research, trying to figure out.
No, you're good. I appreciate it.
Because if I can't start them, then what am I even, you know?
Yeah. What's unfortunate is it doesn't show me the, like if I go watch bollocks, as the Brits say. Yeah, well. All right. Well, if you had a question, you had some of you asked me some questions. Ask it again. I'll start them again. We'll see what happens. All right. We're trying to figure out StreamYard. StreamYard's good and it's bad. It's got cool tools, but it's not the whole team thing. I'm trying to give my wife like admin permission so she can click on names and star them and all that kind of thing. And she's on an iPad and the functionality there is just not great. So it's frustrating. Anyway, let's jump into this right here because I've been flapping my gums. So I had some questions in the thing, and if you guys drop more in the chat, we'll start those and I'll answer those. Thank you so much for everybody, saying congratulations. In the other videos too, there were lots of folks I haven't been able to get to all the comments yet, but I really appreciate all the kind words, all the congratulatory stuff. The folks have been watching for a long time. Like I said, if you've been watching from for a long time, watch me figure it out. I really, really, really appreciate that. So somebody asked about if I'm playing Expedition 33, and let me tell you something. This is another one of those I'm not disciplined type things. It's hard for me to stop playing Expedition 33. I was playing it last night until midnight. It's very, very bad. It's a bad habit. The game is incredible, and I'm only about halfway through it. I think I'm toward the end of Act 2. I'm inside the monolith, climbing the monolith, gonna see some stuff. I have some theories. Some of these people appear to be clones, especially because I got a haircut for one character that is the name of a previous character. So, and then I put that haircut on them, and they look very similar. And I got theories. I'm excited to find out where it goes. But if you have not played Expedition 33, Claire Obscure, it's fabulous. There's like a story mode. It is, it's a game. There's a lot of fighting and all of that sort of thing. But it's the story of it is very interesting. The writing of it is something that really made me kind of take pause. Sometimes you'll have interactions between the characters, and two of the characters, Mael and Gustav, he's like her foster father, and some of their conversations just feel so natural. It really, as I've been watching some of these, I thought it's good writing because it doesn't feel like they're trying to force a point. It just feels like a natural conversation between two people, but it does develop their characters. It's really great writing, really great voice acting in this one. The gameplay is outstanding. It's a turn-based thing, but there's also a lot of active, like quick time stuff. And then there's a lot of customization. I'm one of those people that saves my stuff too late into the game. So I have like 140 Lumina right now that I haven't used because I just think, well, I don't want to apply those because what if I don't like that character? What if I want to use a different character later? And at the moment, I'm not really needing them because I'm guessing at the end of this act. Okay, good. I started that one. Thank you. At the start of, or at the end of this act, I'm assuming that something will unlock and I'll be able to do more damage, because right now the damage is capped out at 10,000. The people talk about getting these huge damage numbers, so I'm assuming something will happen. So I'm also saving everything for that. I'm so excited to see where it goes. Can't stop playing it. It's beautiful also, just from a visual standpoint. The people really got into the whole art theme of it. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't played it, I strongly recommend. It's on Game Pass too, so you can yeah. Yeah, I haven't beaten Hollow Knight yet either. I need to. And I know Silksong dropped, and that's massively popular. And then in 1 month, got to keep hot liquids going on. In 1 month, I am going to be playing Final Fantasy Tactics Ivalis Chronicles. So that's going to take up way too much time. Also, I just want to be playing video games all the time. Yeah, there's too many good games coming out this year. One game that I didn't finish this year, I really thought I was going to like it. It was the first Berserker, Kazan. I liked it for a while, but there was too much padding in that game. Too many side missions that are basically just reused content, and I just felt like, this is a good game. You don't have to do this. You don't have to pad it out like this. But it's fun. It's just too much. And there's like things that you need hidden behind the side quests, which really bothered me. Like how to make armor or change up your armor. You have to do a bunch of side quest stuff to get that. I just feel like don't hide that kind of thing behind several side quests. It bothered me, and then I think I'm like 2/3 through that game, and I haven't played it in a while because I don't know. It got padded. Here we go. Actually, I have a video that I wrote 2 years ago about Patrick Rothfuss, and I'm finally going to make it because I have an editor, and I never knew how to do book things. But that video is going to be about 45 minutes long, and it's part review of Rothfuss's work, which I highly recommend because his books are great. His mainline books are great. I don't like his novellas very much, but then also talking about just his personal stuff, and there's been some drama. He hasn't finished his book. He won't finish the third book, although there's some rumors that it might be coming along. It's just I don't like I feel like he makes excuses a lot, and I don't like those excuses. I think they're not great. I don't like, yeah, yeah, and I also don't like his focus on. He's very lonely, and very horny, obviously, when he writes, and it irritates me. Like I am not. I know, like, there's a reason that I have this as my camera, whatever. Like, and the guys on stream make fun of me because I'm the Puritan guy, but I find that sex scenes and stuff, it's not, I mean, I have a lot of kids. Obviously, I'm not against it as a practice. It's just that in storytelling, I find that it derails everything. And his books are the same way, where we're going along, things are going great. And then the main character is with this clan of people that they're like professional mercenaries. They're the best fighters in the entire world. And they're also polyamorous. And several pages are him sleeping with his instructor. It just like out of nowhere, he gets kidnapped by a fairy goddess of the goddess of sex, basically, and she teaches him how to be the best sexer in the entire world. And it's just like, it goes on for a long time. It just derails the story. It's not great, and I find that happens a lot. As a matter of fact, what's funny is with Expedition 33, two of the characters did have sex, and it just says they like each other, and the text just says they go off and they find a quiet spot and they spend some time together as more than friends. Screen goes black, they come back, done. Obviously, they're having a fling. We don't have to animate it because it never looks good. And we don't have to spend a bunch of time derailing the story on it. I find people get caught up in that with movies, books, all that kind of stuff. My wife recommended this book, The Fifth Season, which was good. I'm going to read more of it, but also there were parts of it that I just thought, why are we doing this? Why did we stop to describe this? It totally derails everything. My kids are actually cooler about me being a YouTuber than I am because I'm 40. And for some reason in my head, I have this weird, like, it feels weird to tell I'm a content creator, like I'm a 20-year-old. I don't know. For some reason, it feels strange to tell people that I do YouTube. And then also because I do entertainment commentary, and a lot of it gets very, some of it's very inflammatory, whatever. I don't know. It feels weird. I get embarrassed about it sometimes. I think with 100,000, maybe I'll get over that now because I feel like I'm like real professional or whatever. But they're cooler about it. They're cooler about it than I am. Some of their friends know about it.
Yeah, you gotta tell the grand story.
Right. One of their friends came over. So they do this thing at church. I'm really proud of them. They do this thing at church. There's an organization called Buddy Break. I think it's Nathaniel's something.
Buddy Break. I think that's
Yeah. It's a nationwide thing, but it's basically churches, mostly churches, I think, set up nights where for like 2.5 hours, people bring their special needs kids and their other kids, like the whole family. They drop all the kids off, and then everybody's trained to deal with the special needs kids, which they call VIPs, and then also the siblings. And it's called Buddy Break because the volunteers are called buddies. And it's a really neat thing. And then afterward, they all come hang out. So one of the kids comes over, and I'm sitting in the kitchen. I'm just chilling. And he sees me and he like pauses, like, I recognize this guy. And it was super awkward. And I didn't know what to do either because I was just as awkward as he was because I could tell he recognized me and I didn't know what to say. And I felt like, should I make a joke? Should I don't know. Should I tell a pun? Should I bust out some alliteration? And I just did not. I was it was so disappointing, I'm sure, for that guy. And I was like, hey, it's me. I'm Greg. Whatever. It was so weird. But every now and then I make some jokes that are, I guess I got to rein in some of the jokes because now I teach kids and my youth pastor knows that I make videos too. So I can't say some things, but I like to slip in the jokes anyway. The tie joke, the tie not joke. That was fun because if you get it, you get it. But if you don't, it goes over people's heads. So it's fine. Sarah wanted to know what my favorite movie is and why. And I thought about this, and I know that this is weird. It's still The Emperor's New Groove. And I tried to think of why, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's like a nostalgia thing. I don't know if it's just, it was something I loved as a kid. I still do. I think I want to dig into that one day as to why is this my favorite movie of all time. I'll watch it over and over and over again. It's a fantastic movie. I think it's laugh out loud funny still to this day. Don't know why, but it is. And I wish that I had like a cool film reviewer reason for that. I don't. I just love it. David Spade is really funny in that one, and not sometimes David Spade gets a little too David Spade, but he's not in that one. I don't know. It's perfect. It's perfect to me. Love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, my thing turned off too. Whatever. Yeah, my kids do get recommended my videos, and for the most part, it's kind of a nice thing that they get recommended, because that to me, it helps me. I don't think I've made a video yet that I think you guys shouldn't watch this. Like, I don't get into super deep topics, or I don't get graphic or anything. So that's a nice check to be like, oh, my kids might watch this, so I will be careful of what I say or whatever. Mm. Okay. Wedge told me I found it when I was reviewing Transformers. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm really sad that Transformers 1 didn't do better. I really think I think the ads made it look dumb and people didn't watch it. And I think Bad Guys 2 was the same way. I had a lot of comments in the last video because I took a second to just talk about Bad Guys 2, because I didn't see it the weekend it came out, so I didn't make a whole 6-kid review. And then unfortunately, with review videos like that, they're kind of only good for a day or two, and they need to be right on top of when the movie releases. So if I don't make it, I don't make it. But I put it in there, and a lot of people said they didn't go see it because it looked like a girl boss thing, because the bad girls are, they kidnap the bad guys, they force them to do a lot of that. I think a lot of that was cut out of the movie. I do believe that they did rein back on that. They just did a better job of editing it than Disney did with a lot of their re-edits this year. But it's unfortunate that some of these marketings just don't. Transformers 1, I don't know, for some reason the trailers made it look stupid. Like it was a slapstick, dumb kid comedy. And I came away with it. Like, I really enjoyed the theme of that movie. Really, really good stuff. But nobody went to see it because the marketing was bad. I think Bad Guys 2 was the same way. If you haven't seen Bad Guys 2, I think you ought to watch it. It's really, really fun. Now that I have the editor, yes, I am aiming to do some longer form videos. I have a couple that I've been picking at, making outlines. One of them, I really want to talk about Iron Man, Tony Stark, and just the big I am so impressed at the big overarching arc that they were able to make with that character, and also Steve Rogers. Those two in particular, MCU did a great job with in phases 1 through 3, where the character has like a singular driving motivation, and they kept approaching it in different ways, but it was still the same motivation. And you saw them work through iterations of how they approached this internal problem. And that's how they were able to continue to make stories all the way through that didn't ever get stale. Sometimes you see a character that I know, like when Last of Us 2 came out, people said, well, Joel's story was kind of like, obviously he had to die because his story was kind of done. And I sort of agree with that. I didn't mind the fact that he had to die or get out of the story, get out of the way or whatever. And that is sometimes the trouble with a character, where they are written for one season or one movie or whatever. And then once they are resolved, they're just, really, what else do you do with a character like that? They're kind of done. And I was so impressed with how Tony Stark and Steve Rogers, they continued to have a story with them as they continue to explore this internal struggle that they had. That's what makes a great character. That's, I think, what is missing in so many characters. Creeper Weirdo. I love this name. You ever seen the Netflix Divorce Kids movie? Must have been an awful concept alone. It's insanity that it was so out of touch. I think they're referring to Spellbound last year, which I didn't sit through the whole thing. I was busy that day. My kids were watching it, so I've only seen bits and pieces of it. They described it to me, so take that with a grain of salt. But they didn't like it. They haven't watched it since. They were very bored by it, and they were turned off. And basically, it's this girl, her parents turned into monsters because what you find out is because they were fighting, and they went to find some sort of cure to either get over their fighting or get divorced or whatever, and they were turned into monsters. And at the end of the movie, they basically decide, oh, well, we're gonna live on opposite sides of the castle. We're gonna be divorced, and it's gonna be okay. And like the end of the movie, the moral is divorce is okay, and it's fine, and everybody gets along in the end. And that's insane that they made a kids movie. But what really disappointed me was that is John Lasseter's that's his first all the way start to finish movie since he left Pixar. He did one more for Apple called Luck, and it was halfway or mostly finished, and he kind of came in and did some polishing, and it's a It's an okay movie. It's kind of cute. It's an okay movie. It's not the greatest thing, but it's passable, and you'll like it once or twice maybe. But that wasn't 100% John, and so this was him, start to finish. He had full control, and I thought, okay, Lasseter is back, and it was very, very disappointing, and it kind of takes the wind out of the whole argument of Pixar has gone downhill since Lasseter left, because Lasseter was the magic. Because it was a big, big miss. It's on Netflix, called Spellbound. If you want to check it out, it's very, very strange. Very, and like Creeper said, it's a very weird concept. Like, who pitched that? And the whole room was like, yes, let's do a kids movie about how divorce is okay, and your parents are going to be fine, and they're going to get along, and what, like, it's crazy. Chad wanted to know about a game that I played that stuck with me after I finished it. I think Expedition 33 will be one. The upcoming Final Fantasy Tactics has stuck with me since childhood. That's a great game, fun game, gameplay wise, and then also the story is really interesting. It's a cool exploration about class and religion and how people take advantage of power and what they do with power. Like, it's oddly very political game, but it's not. When people say things are too political, it's usually because it's just one-sided, it's in your face. This one's a really fun exploration of it, and it's a great story. But another one that stuck with me and doesn't even have a story is The Witness. It's a puzzle game. There's no story. It's very strange. This game has stuck with me. I played it 3 times at this point. I have been following the creator, Jonathan Blow. He's in the middle of making another game that I probably won't be out for another year or two, but I still check in on him every now and then. He streams on Twitch, like he programs live on Twitch sometimes. Fantastic game. That game got in my head to where I would be playing it at home, and I would have a puzzle that I was stuck on, and I would take a picture with my phone, and then at work, I would draw it out on a piece of paper, because the whole game is just these grids, and you have to draw a line through the grids, but there are little symbols that dictate how your line can or cannot go through the grid. So I would physically draw these out on paper at work and sit there and solve them. And then when I got home, I was like, yes, I got, and then I would get it. I don't understand it. It's a fantastic game, and there's no story, but it really got me. Normal Norm asked me, Normal Norm has flattered me here, because a lot of these questions are about the writing industry, and clearly I have convinced people that I work in the industry, and that I take as a huge compliment, because I don't, but that must mean that I'm good at what I do to convince people that I'm a professional, because I'm just a dude in his basement. That is it. But I can answer his first question. Because how to get in the movie industry, stuff in the industry, I don't know about that, but I can tell you how to practice being a good writer is, number one, read a lot, and read different types of books, and think about your feelings while you're reading. Recently, I have been trying to myself read different types of books, because I usually just read a lot of fantasy, a lot of genre fiction, a little bit of sci-fi sometimes. But when I'm reading, normally that's what I'm doing. And then other times I'll try to read some philosophy, or every now and then I'll listen to some lectures about some, science thing that I'm interested in or whatever. But for the most part, when I'm reading fiction, it's that. And this year I tried to read a couple of different genres, or kind of popular things. I read Crime and Punishment a few months ago. Really, that one grabbed me. It was, I'm going to read that one again. It was phenomenal. That comes up in the next video. Actually, it really grabbed me. And people talk about Cormac McCarthy a lot, and how it's like dude lit or whatever. It's like a red flag. Like, oh, dude, only dude bros read Cormac McCarthy. It's like, what is this about? And it was No Country for Old Men was free on Audible last month. So like, it was kind of short. Like, I'll listen to this. And something that was very interesting was I enjoyed the heck out of that book. And it is a very dry book. And that surprised me, because I like Patrick Rothfuss. He's a purpley prose kind of dude. I mean, he uses 18 words where 1 or 2 would suffice, but he does it in a very artistic way. I like his writing a lot. I like the way he describes things. It's very flowery. I'm into that. I like a lot of, currently people are saying don't use adverbs and adjectives. Screw that. I want all the adverbs, all the adjectives. Get crazy with it. But McCarthy does not. His stuff is super dry. In this book, Moss, just Moss left his house. Moss got in the truck. He put the gun on the seat. He started the truck. He pulled out of the parking lot. Literally, that's how it's written. But I was into this story. And so it's stuff like that where you're reading a book and you're like, wow, why do I like this? What is it about this story that interests me? And the language, what is it about the language that interests me? Things like that. So the number one thing to practice being a writer is just that. And then the other thing that I would suggest is write a lot and then feed. Obviously, you want people to read your stuff, but people are really scared of like they have this weird aversion to AI. Don't ever use AI to write ever because it writes terribly. But AI makes a great sounding board if you tell it not to fluff you. Because AI by design will tell you this is incredible. You're the greatest writer since Shakespeare. You're incredible. It'll hype you up. It's crazy. But if you specifically tell a chatbot, like I use ChatGPT, tell it you want critical feedback. Tell me, am I making my point? Am I using stale language? Am I relying on the same words too many times? And it will criticize you, and that will be very, very helpful. So those two things. What was the third thing I said? There was a third thing. I'll think of it. I promise. Seems to be a change in the wind. Twinkybus said there seems to be a change in the wind when it comes to quality in our media culture. Any thoughts on how to support this change? Yeah, I think the number one thing is vote with your wallet always. When something looks bad, and I do feel terrible for the bad guys too. I feel terrible for, I know there's an upcoming question about Ghost of Yotei, which I'm going to play. I'm looking forward to it. It looks great. Unfortunately, when something looks bad, I would wait on it. I would wait for reviews, whatever. For companies that are making bad material, I mean, I hate watching because I get paid to, but I would suggest not doing that. Give your time and your attention to things that you really, really enjoy, and that's the number one way. I mean, these streamers and stuff, they go off of minutes streamed, they go off of obviously money made, things like that. That's what they pay attention to. Is the studio pays attention to the bottom line, and that's how you do. That's how you support them. I like Kickstarter a lot. You can check out your like your smaller creators and stuff. As a matter of fact, two of the folks here in the beginning, I meant to mention this in the beginning. No, there we go. Where did I put them? Oh, I forgot the channel name here. Now I got to look it up. If Sailaway's in the comment. Sailaway has a VTuber account talking about mostly anime and politics and stuff. My so-called Gen X Life has a channel that talks about Gen X stuff, movie shows and stuff in the 90s, things like that. Actually, it's doing really well. I looked it up this morning, 70,000, doing great. So it's your time and your attention. That's how you support. That's what people pay attention to. And don't give the time and attention to people that don't make good products or just like hate you. I mean, if they say they hate you, don't give them your money, even if they make an okay thing. Like that's the number one. But I agree with you that I think that there's a shift in the quality thing. And I think that we're seeing that. People are saying, woke's not dead. I'm like, yeah, it's not dead, like from the perspective of people trying to force messages or representation or whatever, and it's killing the writing. That's not dead, but it is dying, because at a certain point, the people with the money say, look, we can't continue to do this. We thought it was going to work. We thought it was going to be popular socially. It's not. And they are, and you can see that was the I guess 2 videos ago, Disney edited the crap out of some movies and shows and stuff that came out this year. And you can see the edits hard. I think DreamWorks did the same thing. I wouldn't be shocked if that news came out, that originally the Bad Girls were going to be a little more girl bossy. And they were like, let's pull back on that. It's not popular. Let's rewrite this a little. Let's edit this a little. So I do think that we're gonna see a shift away from that. And that doesn't mean that the quality will get better, but it does remove a roadblock, because it is very, very difficult to write a quality story when you're so focused on some kind of political message or social, whatever, something that you as a writer really are like dying to tell your audience. It'll usually get in the way of good writing. And that's kind of what we've been seeing with all of these all these movies and shows. Yeah, what was funny is when Expedition was coming out, there was news that it's a smaller game. It might only take like 35, 40 hours to play. Lies. I am all up in the side quests. They're interesting side quests. They're interesting little side things to do. It's going to take me forever to finish that game because I'm absolutely loving it. That's what I love. I love a video game that I don't want to stop playing because it's just too good. Like I've had video games that I don't want to play. Like I'm so close to getting like a platinum trophy or whatever, 100%. And like, I don't want to because I just want to spend more time in that world playing that game. That's a great game right there. I haven't had a chance to play Kingdom Come Deliverance because I just don't have enough time, but I know it's a super popular one. Yeah, Silk Song is free on Game Pass, $20 otherwise. That right there is a huge. People are begging to give Team Cherry more money. They want to pay more for this game. It's so crazy. And I love to see pro consumer stuff like that from them. They're like, look, we made a popular game. We know it's going to sell well. People have been dying for this for years. And we don't need to, they could charge $30, $40, $50 for it and people would have paid it. And they didn't go the Nintendo route. And I appreciate that. And I love that they're seeing such success because of that. AM Harbinger playing Devil May Cry 3. I didn't get into the Devil May Cry stuff. And I think I have one of the collections and it's just one of those so many hours in the day thing. And I never got into it. I'd like to. It looks like a lot of fun, but just never have. But I'm glad people are going back and enjoying the old stuff. It's interesting. That's another thing. It's interesting to read like old or not read old stories, but play old games and kind of what was it about these games that we loved so much? Have they aged well? A lot of them have actually, and it's kind of interesting to compare them with new design philosophies versus old design philosophies, development philosophies. Why did we like these so much? Sometimes playing an old game, you're like, wow, this is actually trash. I don't know. I guess I just didn't have any options as a kid. I don't know. Part of this complete breakfast, I started reading the Wheel of Time because of the videos. I'm so glad. The show was terrible, but the silver lining is that a lot of people watched it and said, why is that they heard about it? Like, wow, this, oh my goodness, people are so excited. They're finally making a show. And I know a lot of people heard that. And so they were like, oh, I'll watch this show. It was trash. And they thought, why? I'll try to read this book because what is all the fuss about? And then they started reading the book and loved it. So silver lining, that's good. I'm glad about that. And I'm glad you got into it. I appreciate that. Appreciate the comment. Well, thank you very much. God has blessed my family very, very well. I'm going to say much again. What? Abundantly. That's the word I'm looking for. I got good kids, an excellent wife. Do you want to get too personal about the other?
Oh, no.
No, not yet. Yeah, we'll wait on that one. Yeah, some other personal stuff brewing that we'll see. We'll see about it. What books are these? Was I talking about? Sometimes I get off on a rant and I don't. Maybe it's Wheel of Time. No, this is back. Crime and Punishment is. I was talking about those two. Crime and Punishment it's old. It's written by it's Dostoevsky, and I didn't. So my wife 2 years ago started reading like some classic books. She thought, oh, I should read these. People talk about these books. What is it? Rose grows in Brooklyn. Flower grows in Brooklyn. Tree grows in Brooklyn. Something is growing in Brooklyn. Wuthering Heights, which is I got to read that because that's gonna be a movie next year. So she was reading these, and she thought, why are people? She's like me, reading a lot of fiction, a lot of genre fiction, and why are people into this stuff? And she really got into it, really liked a lot of them. Some of them she didn't like, but they were still interesting. She said the biggest thing that she found was there were some books that she didn't like, but they stuck with her for some reason. And that was an interesting feeling to have a book that really sits with you and you think about it a lot, but you don't love it. You don't enjoy it like some more fiction-y, adventure-y type books, but for some reason you can't stop thinking about it. And that got me to think, oh, maybe I should try this too. So I tried Crime and Punishment, and that one intimidates people because like, oh, it's Dostoevsky. And people like mention that name like so challenging. And I don't know. I don't agree with that. I thought it was a beautiful book. The language was very beautiful. It was like that. It got me to think about it, there were phrases that were used that I thought were interesting. The themes were very interesting. I don't think that it's like a challenging book. It's a little long, if that's what people mean, but I think that it's good to read different stuff, and not all of it is great. I think I mentioned in this next video, I read Foucault last year, also Discipline and Punish, and it was I was bored. I thought my eyes were gonna fall. I was so bored. God, that book's terrible, and he's stupid, but tried it out anyway, right? You got to try some different stuff, see what you like, and get some different perspectives. What was the other one I mentioned? No Country for Old Men, Cormac McCarthy. That's the other. The Blood Meridian, I think is another one that I'm going to read, and then I think another one on the queue. I'm going to read some Franz Kafka. People talk about that, The Trial, or there's another one that's famous. Yeah, try those out. Just I love the Star Wars books I was reading. I'm starting in on some Dresden Files. I'm starting in on that. I've read the Witcher stuff. So I read, I don't want to give anything. I read super philosophy and very high-minded books. No. I dig into some just genre actiony fiction. I was listening to the Cradle series by Will White. It's 12-book series, but they're all pretty short and they're real, they move. There were times where I would not start one of those because they are so engrossing that I have to listen to it all the way through. And they're just fun. They're fun books. They keep going. They never get boring. They're great. So yeah, I still like that stuff, but also try to read some other classics, things people talk about. Maybe one of these days I'll read Infinite Jest and I'll be a super red flag dude bro guy. But that one's long too. No, the Rothfuss thing is fun. I'm gonna make a video about that. The King Killer Chronicles is good. Oh, I mentioned his novellas. I don't like the novellas, but that's all right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Kieran Toast is another longtime viewer. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm actually reading. Oh my God, hang on. Oh my God, my desk is a mess. I'm gonna make fun of this. So I'm doing research. This is for research purposes. I read, what was it? I don't remember why, but I read A Court of Thorns and Roses because I was like, why is this so popular? And that's a Sarah J. Maas book. I'm not going to dig it out. My desk is a mess. But I read that one and I was like, it got me thinking, why are these books so popular? These are selling millions and millions of copies. And they feature a girl boss character. I mean, she's the bestest at everything in these books. And also Tiny. That book starts with her hunting to feed her family, and they're all starving, and it says she's so skinny you can count her ribs, but then she shoots a deer and field dresses it and throws it over her shoulder and carries it home. That's 130 pounds of field dressed deer. That's ridiculous. Nobody's doing that. Not a tiny you can count her ribs waif of a girl. So goofy stuff like that, right? It doesn't work in movies. This stuff is not working. Captain Marvel is not selling. Rey Palpatine did not sell. Nobody wants to see this crap. And so I thought, why are these books selling by the millions and millions and millions? So I read that one. I read some other books. I'm coming back to on the research train. I'm reading Fourth Wing right now. Holy crap. This book is garbage. It is one of the worst written books I've ever read. And middle school type writing. Very, very bad language. The setup, sometimes setup and payoff is 1 page away. In the first chapter, the author, Rebecca Yarros, tries to get you to care about some guy that's going to see his girlfriend, and then he dies 3 pages later, and you're like, okay, what was the point of that? The world building sucks. Such a stupid book. But one thing that I am noticing is the romance. I think that's the big thing. There's going to be a bunch of smut in this one. I can already tell. They're going to get into. They're going to kill the pacing with stupid sex scenes, and they're already building up to that. But I think so far that's what I've noticed is the big Twilight. I haven't read the Twilight books, but basically all of these are a very average, small, pale girl, and 2 super Chad macho dudes are fighting over her in Thorns and Roses, in Twilight, now in Fourth Wing. That is a common pattern that 7-foot tall smolder McHardbodies are both no, I'll fight you to the death for that pale 5-foot tall, skinny, awkward girl over there. I'll kill you so that I can be the one to have her, and will describe me having her for 3 pages. It's crazy. But I think that's why they're doing well, because it's the romance. Like, who wrote Captain Marvel or Rey, and they were like, you know what we're gonna do is have her reject Finn. That's how we're gonna get women to watch this movie. Like, I get they were trying to increase the audience, but oh my God, if you want women to watch your movie, you should put in some romance. That's what women like. It sells very well. I don't know. It's very strange. I know. I'm gonna read more of that. I'm gonna actually make some shorts mocking this book because it's just awful. It's so bad. Yeah, Name the Wind is really, really good. Wise Man's Fear is, yeah, it gets sexy in Wise Man's Fear, and it starts to get a little performative in terms of it needs to be edited. Wise Man's Fear needs to be edited. And I have not read, by the way, I haven't read Wind and Truth yet by Brandon Sanderson, but that's been the big complaint, is that it needs to be edited. It needs to be, like, he should have cut that down. And I haven't. It's 60 hours long to listen to. It's a massive tome of a book. I haven't even gotten started. I hear all these bad reviews. I'm going to read it, but I think that's a growing trend where people can't bring the books down a little bit. Taylor asked on the post if I'm looking forward to Ghost of Yotei, because I really love Ghost of Tsushima. Some of these slides you'll notice are screen grabs from Ghost of Tsushima. I am so sad my PlayStation 4 is dead. I was going to set it up for my son because he always wants to use my PS5, and I don't want him in here. And sometimes, like, we're napping or whatever. And I tried to turn the PS4 on for him. It won't boot up. I actually took it apart the other day, replaced the fan. I tried to fix it, and all of my photos are on there, and they're lost forever. I have a photo mode problem. Expedition 33 does not have a photo mode, which I'm really grateful for, because like when I was playing the first Spider-Man game, when I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, I will spend an hour setting up a photo. I'll die trying to get a cool action pose to take a photo of. Like, I have a photo mode real problem. It's okay. We'll figure it out. But I am looking forward to it. I know that the voice actress apparently is kind of crazy. She said a lot of crazy stuff. Apparently there's been some turnover at the studio. So I should look into it more. I guess they've hired some people from other projects that had some goofy social themes or whatever. So people are really worried about it. I tried to get a review copy. I shamelessly begged Sucker Punch publicly on Twitter twice. Tried to ask them for a review copy. I couldn't find an email. I actually sent a bunch of cold emails to sales@suckerpunch.com, marketing@suckerpunch.com, influencer@info@. Like, I tried to think of all these, like, generic mailboxes that they might have, and I just sent emails at random, hoping that one of them was a monitored box. Talked to them on Twitter, because I am looking forward to this game. I think it looks really good. I loved Ghost of Tsushima, played the hell out of it. It's beautiful. I think this team knows how to make a very good looking game. Sucker Punch knows how to make a good playing game. They also did the Second Son. Anyway, the previous games I've really enjoyed from them. But I understand. I can't blame the audience for feeling like, well, it's a female protagonist and the voice actress has said this crazy stuff, and it just doesn't take a lot for the audience to go, look, I have a lot of options, and I'm not going to buy something that smells even a little bit of this kind of social progressive. You're going to put a message in it, whatever. You're going to have this game where dudes are trying to hit on this female character, and she's going to say some, and the whole bus is going to clap, and, like, I get it. I would never disparage anybody for looking at that and be like, well, I don't want to play that. It's your money. Like, don't spend $70 to find out if this has ridiculous crap. Unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but I am looking forward to it still. And the trouble is that I don't know if I'm going to buy it at launch, because I have Expedition 33 still playing, and it's coming out October 7th or 8th or something, and Final Fantasy Tactics is coming out at September 30th, and I'm dying to play that game. I cannot wait to relive my childhood again. That'll be the fourth time that I have purchased that game. I bought it for PlayStation. I bought it twice on the phone. This will be the fourth time I bought this same damn game. And so I don't know. I might not be able to buy that one. I will eventually, because I do want to play it. But yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. but I understand why people are not. Nobody's recognized me on the street yet. And when they do, I'm going to be the excited one. I'm going to take a picture of someone who recognizes me. I'm going to ask that person, can I post a picture of you and me on my channel? Because I'm going to be freaking pumped. My daughter's boyfriend was visiting Chicago recently and did see somebody watching my video on the train while they were out. So that was kind of fun. But no, it's really weird because millions of people have seen my videos and I've never met a person in real life that saw me and like either they never said anything or I didn't notice them notice me. Because that's maybe has happened to people like notice, but they don't want to say anything, and I'm not looking around usually. So, I don't know. But it's kind of funny though. The world's huge, and like you think, oh, I'm internet famous. Yeah, it's not real. It's not real at all. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they got away with Simba tackling Nala, and she looked like it's on. Let's go. So they got away with that. Yeah, I hide my jokes. That's the thing. I don't usually have, I told you guys, like I have business meetings, or not business meetings, but like, let's talk about YouTube stuff with Despot and Echo and stuff. And I don't ever have, my videos never get restricted because I hide my sex jokes and my dirty jokes and stuff. I pun them in. So. Yeah, that's how I'm going to introduce myself to people. I haven't watched Groundhog Day in forever. I should watch that again. I'm gonna start watching some old movies. We were gonna do a member thing about old childhood movies like Three Ninjas, Mighty Ducks, that sort of thing. To same deal, like let's revisit these and see, do we just have nostalgia or were they actually good or were they actually crap? And the problem is a lot of these you can't find on streaming. You have to pay for them all. So that's why we never did that stream, those of you members, because like I didn't want to make everybody pay $350 per movie for 6, 7, 8 movies, whatever, because we would need more than just 2 or 3 to make a whole video out of. And I want to be like, okay, everybody watch 6 movies, pay $20. Like, I don't know, it's a pain. So that's why we never did that one. But I want to watch some old ones. I am a libertarian. I have not paid my dues this year. I haven't re-upped, so I guess technically I'm not a card-carrying member anymore. But I've never been to one of the conventions, and I would like to think that if YouTube ever got so big that I was able to quit my day, so I just don't have time at the moment, but I would like to think that if YouTube ever got so big that I was able to do it full time, that I would try to get more involved in the party and try to grow that a little bit. In America, it's very difficult because most states have the game really is rigged. Like there are a minimum number of signatures that you need for a third party to get on the ballot, and it's astronomical compared to the 2 major parties. There's federal funding for the 2 major parties. There's the gerrymandering basically ensures that a lot of districts are just the same party all the time. There are a lot of really, really shady things going on. It's very, very difficult for third parties to get going on. And I hate to get all black pilly, but the last few years have been kind of depressing because I thought, surely this is going to be like third parties are going to do well, because I know a lot of Democrats. I really do, not even like concern trolling. I really feel for a lot of like moderate left people who they just, they're like, well, we'd like to see a little, some healthcare assistance, some welfare assistance. We'd like to see some protections for people so they don't get like straight up discriminated against. Like, they want the government to be helping people a little bit, but they're not for government paid, transition surgeries or guys in women's sports. Like some of the crazy stuff that's going on. I know a lot of moderate left people are like, this isn't what are we doing? This is not what I wanted. Why am I attached to this crap? I really feel terrible. And I thought, surely this is where people they'll start to seek out third, fourth options. And I also thought that, the Republican Party used to be, or I'm sorry, the Democrat Party has been like pro-war recently. Like what is going on with that? The Republicans are spending money hand over fist. That they used to be the fiscal conservatives. I thought surely more and more people will seek out third, fourth options because both parties are like anathema to what their stated platforms were 20, 15 years ago. But it unfortunately has not happened. But I would like to get more involved in that stuff. I mean, I'm in Illinois, and I think Illinois it would work really well because I think a lot of people downstate are pretty disenfranchised as well. But maybe I will. I'd like to. Do I think Superman movie was woke? I don't think it was woke. So my definition of woke is that when people put a message or a representation or something in as a like a moral, it's like a moral goodness type thing. Like, I'm going to gender swap a character because it is morally correct to fix some sort of imbalance of gender representation or something to that effect. So that, to me, that's what differentiates just, we cast a lot of different looking people to what I would call woke. Is there is like a morality aspect of, we're righting some kind of moral wrong because of an imbalance of equality and representation or equality in something, right? That, to me, is that's the separation between just, hey, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is my favorite example. We just have a diverse cast. We have it's visually interesting to have a bunch of different looking people. We like that. And some of their things, like Captain Holt is gay. It's like part of his character. He's not the gay character. He's the chief. He's very straight-laced. Also, he's gay. It's part of his character. His husband is very straight-laced. Versus, something, I don't know, something like Bros or whatever. Like, to me, that's different. So by that definition, no, I don't think the Superman was woke. What I do think about Superman, and later this month, I got a video coming out it's going to be called McMansion Media, and it's about how, like, American McMansions that have a bunch of design parts that don't really make any sense. They're just there, like Grecian pillars. Like, well, it looks cool. Let's put them on. Let's put dormer windows that don't open. They don't make any, they don't actually connect anything. They don't make any sense. Things like that. I think that what a trend that I'm noticing is, to somebody's point earlier about, like, we're seeing the quality change. I think that people are trying to get back to what they know worked. And James Gunn was attempting to show Superman being good, but James Gunn clearly doesn't know what good is. He doesn't know what goodness means. He doesn't understand that at a core human level. And so, in my opinion, something like Superman and Fantastic Four is going to feature in that video also, where you can tell these people are trying to capture something that should work, but they don't know how. They don't know how to show Superman being good. They don't know how to show the Fantastic Four being a family. They seem like really chummy roommates, in my opinion. Like that, I didn't get the family aspect of it, and they want to do it. And it's the same way where you have people building houses there's a turret out front for some freaking reason. The gables are cool. Let's put some gables on there. Let's put some exposed beams in the ceiling. Let's do shiplap, but they don't make any sense. But they're like, they know that they worked at one point. They know that people like them, but they don't understand why. And they don't fit, and they can't make it all fit together. And that's how Superman felt to me, is someone who is really, really trying hard to make the audience believe a man can fly, but he just came across as kind of dumb and naive and boyish and almost a little bit like the butt of the joke because of it. Because I think James Gunn is kind of a cynical person, and so Lois was cynical and came off, in my opinion, as like more correct, more smart, whatever. And a lot of people say, like, well, in the end, everything goes, Superman convinces everybody. I don't believe that that's what happened. I think in that movie, Lex Luthor was revealed to be evil, and then everybody thought, oh, cool, we're going to fight this evil. They were not inspired by Superman to fight for good, and I think that's where the movie kind of misses that connection. Superman almost feels like the most useless character in the movie. Like, he doesn't really need to be there. So yeah, that is something that I'm noticing, is people are trying to do what worked in the past, and they don't know how anymore. And that's I think the next phase that we're going to see is, okay, we gave up on the representation stuff. We gave up on the social messaging. We're going to go back to traditional rom-coms. We're going to go back to traditional good guy versus bad guy, whatever. But you have a lot of these people that they don't, in their core being, they don't believe it. They don't understand it. And so they will not be able to tell those stories because of that. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Transformers 1, you really ought to check it out. It's really, I felt the same way as Safety here. Like, I left the theater. I took the kids thinking, oh, I'm just going to, Transform movie. It's fine. It's a kids movie. I was blown away by the quality of that one. Catherine wants to know, been a member 5 months. Thank you so much. one of the originals there. Want to know if I'll make a Discord server? I might. My wife was talking about that recently.
Volunteer to moderate.
Yeah, I need a moderator.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I need. I gotta look into how to do it because I know Discords can like run away. They can get crazy. And I don't want to be showing up in somebody else's deep dive video about some weird crap that gets said in my Discord, and they're like, and Greg didn't say anything. Like, well, Greg was busy. Greg didn't, But I do think that Discord would be a great supplement to those members. I love the member streams, and I'm so sad that I haven't been able to do more of those. I want to get back on track because I like your guys' ideas and then putting them all together in a video. And I love like that collaboration element. I like that you guys feel a sense of ownership of it or ownership of it. And I think a Discord would help because there's a character limit in YouTube. And so a Discord would be nice because you can type out a little bit more and like there could be more collaboration on how the video would come about. So I do want to do it. I got to find the time for it.
Catherine said she moderates a lot of servers. She might be willing to help.
Ooh, nice. Okay, well, email me. Let's figure that out, Catherine.
Some good ideas for it too.
Matthew, notice the D&D books and my enthusiasm. Notice my enthusiasm for K-pop Demon Hunters. Favorite D&D YouTubers video this week explain how to build some of those characters. Colby with D4 did a deep dive. I'm gonna watch that one, and I'm gonna have my son watch that. My son wants to run a D&D game so bad. My 13-year-old wants to so bad, and he's into Greek mythology like every 13-year-old boy. He's into Percy Jackson, and I bought the Legend of Mythos. D&D made a book about basically Greek stuff, right? And it's like got a whole sub-function about gods and how you can give your players like blessings, and it's very Greek focused. And I'm gonna watch that with him because I think he would benefit from that greatly. Angst Kitten, $20. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Congrats on 100K. Appreciate your content as a good mix of analysis and humor. Personality in your videos really shows through. I can't stay long. Thanks for what you do. I look forward to more. Well, thank you so much. I hope that you're still here to have heard that, but I really, really appreciate that. What's funny is a long time when I first started, it's like sometimes you look into stuff. I show my face because I was too lazy to edit a full video to make like a faceless channel. And then that turned out to be such a great decision because I can do my own expressions. I can, vary my tone, whatever. Like, I think that showing the face is more of like the personality thing. But yeah, that is, originally that was a decision based on laziness because I was just like, well, I can't edit a full video and put B-roll over the top of the whole thing. I'm just going to have to show my face. And people are going to have to just see my moves and my weird background. Like, that's just, they're going to have to deal with it. And it turned out to be one of the, again, my wife suggested that. She was like, you show your face, personality. She's the one that has all the good ideas. A lot of the jokes in the videos, also her jokes. We just talk about stuff, and then she'll say some stuff, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, say that again. And then it's in the script. And yeah. That's her in there. Oh, so you're commenting as me.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying not to.
It doesn't matter.
It's freaking wild.
We just got to I got to throw that laptop away. We got to figure something out. Oh, man. I want to go. I bought Final Fantasy 16 in the winter sale earlier this year, and I haven't had a chance to play it. I played the demo. Didn't love the demo, but people say it's such a great game, and I want to try it. I really do. Miss Mac Lover is listening in. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really, really appreciate it. I know it's busy on a Saturday. I wasn't sure. I never know if Saturdays are good because I know a lot of people are overseas, like Silver. What's Silver's name? Oh, can't find it. But Silver's in Finland. And so like on weeknights, I know a lot of people in the UK, everywhere in Europe, it's like middle of the night. And then Saturday, I know a lot of people in America are like, well, it's my Saturday. So I'm kind of doing stuff. So never know which one's the right way. But this one worked out mostly because I was just sick. I did, Emma, longtime commenter. Good to see you. I did play some of Hollow Knight. I haven't finished it yet. And I'm going to play Silk Song, but I'm going to go back and finish Hollow Knight. My game queue is crazy. And Expedition, I don't think I'm going to play anything else till Expedition is done. It's so good. It's got me so wrapped up. It's fantastic. Oh, nice. I appreciate the kind words from Kevin. I do work in the industry. I'm an entertainer. I'm not a screenwriter for Hollywood, but I do feel at this point confident saying that I am a professional writer. I mean, I do get paid to write and produce and act. So I feel like I could say that now. Sword of Truth series. I have heard of this. I haven't though. I haven't read the Sword of Truth stuff. I'm gonna be getting, like I said, I'm gonna get into the Dresden Files pretty soon. Ooh, another recommendation, Edmund Burke.
I'm making a list of those recommendations.
Yes, my TBR will be as long as hers. I was at the day I was at Barnes and Noble. I asked her if she needed something, and she was like, "No, please, no, I don't need any more books. I can't." Tabitha, another longtime member and commenter, working also, but thank you very much for stopping in and supporting. I really appreciate it. The Weekend Fixin' video that's going to have a funny bit, because in that stream, Tabitha suggested Jonathan from Stranger Things, and my daughter has been watching it. So I was like, "Oh, that's great. I want to talk about this because I want to talk to her." And I haven't watched the show, and Tabitha had commented, was like, "Well, ask your daughter if she agrees that Jonathan is kind of like not an underutilized character or whatever." And it was great because I called her and she's standing right here at the door, and I was like, "Hey, what do you think about Jonathan?" And she goes, "Is somebody saying something bad? Because I will fight them." It did not go the way that I thought it was going to. But then she actually came around. She read Tabitha's email and then watched the rest of the show, and came around. I'm excited to talk about that one. No, I haven't seen the Sword of Truth one. Yeah, who knows? Grunts, grats, greetings. I knew what you meant. That's me, man. More dad content. I want to be called Unc one day, but I don't think I've earned that quite yet. I'm not that cool. I'm not invited to the cookout just yet.
So Brandon said something about Dungeon Crawler Carl. Ask him, like, how inappropriate is that one? I'm curious.
I think it is. Yeah, if Brandon mentioned, I'm gonna get down to it, but I want to read Dungeon Crawler Carl, but I've heard it's got some inappropriate things. If somebody can drop in there, because I thought it would be fun for my kids to read, because my boys listen to a lot of lit RPG. They love. What are they listening to right now? All the Skills series. I mentioned the Cradle series by Will White. That was the one that got them into it. What was the other one? The Rune Seeker series, I think right now is one they're into. They're really into like the progression fantasy. I mean, that's like, it's super popular with boys because it's like leveling up. It's like a video game in a book. And Dungeon Crawler Carl sounds that way, but I've heard that it's got some inappropriate stuff. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm going to listen to it, though, because it sounds hilarious. My next one from Dostoevsky, eventually I'm going to read The Brothers Karamazov, and I'm excited about that one because I've heard that's really good, too. Yeah, Kevin is skeptical of AI for his writing. It is, you have to argue with AI. That's the biggest thing that I think people and like CEOs and stuff, they just think you can type something in and just there it is. You really got to get it. You got to go back and forth with it. You have to over explain yourself. You got to go back and forth. You have to tell it, like, remember this about me, remember my preferences, things like that, to get it to really be where you mold it how you want it to be. And it takes a lot of work, and it still will sometimes lie to you. Sometimes it still will try to, fluff you up a little bit, things like that. So it takes a lot of work, and it's not perfect, but I have found a lot of benefit where there are times where I'll feed a script in, I'll be like, okay, analyze this, criticize it for me. And there have been times where it will say like, well, it sounds as though when you said this, it could be interpreted that you're trying to say whatever. And so that's a great catch. Good. I can fix that then so I don't get misunderstood, because once the video is up, there's no fixing it, So I do like that. Animator X Studios asked in the post about if I've watched Avatar: Last Airbender. Yes, I have. It is phenomenal. My kids were super into it, and about a year ago, 2 years ago, they finally were like, "Dad, you got to just watch this with us." And I did, and I'm in love with it. It's fantastic. I have been planning to do a video about how it handles the idea of violence versus pacifism. It really explores that concept very, very well from a lot of different angles. It's funny, it's lighthearted, but it's got some really deep themes. If you guys have never watched Master Samwise, is a channel on here. He has a video about Iroh and like how he's just peak masculinity. Really, really great video on that one. He does a lot of stuff on that. I'm gonna try to stream with him. We're both busy, but I'm gonna try to play Split Fiction with him. Let's see if we can work that out and get some stream together. But I like his videos a lot, and yeah, it's a fantastic show. My only qualm with Last Airbender is I do think they chickened out at the end. I think that the penultimate episode of Aang discovers a way to basically get out of the question that the show has been wrestling with for 3 straight seasons. You know, do you fight violence with violence? Can pacifism win? And then the show is like, we actually came up with a get out of jail free card. And I was disappointed by that. Very, very disappointed that they kind of copped out. Didn't love that. Have I ever had to deal with a long distance relationship? I'm afraid not. Part of this complete breakfast. I'm so sorry. I wish I had good advice because I've been living pretty much in the same place my whole life. I met my wife in high school. We were high school sweethearts. It was super cute.
I'm gonna tell them where we met.
In swing choir, we met. We were dance partners, and we would sing Newsies songs and dance for old folks in the old folks' home, and do box step and jazz hands. And I wore a blue sequiny vest, and she wore a blue dress with a what's the name of it? Yep, sequiny dress with my blue vest, and yeah, we were dance partners, and that's how we met. And then we went on a date. Our first date was we went to a nearby park, and we just walked around the park and talked for a while. It's old. We were old fashioned. So I hate to not answer a question, but I'm afraid I don't have any experience in trying to do a long distance thing. It's just, yeah, I guess I would just video call a lot. I'd get one of those Amazon show video things, and I guess just like leave it on like they're in the room. I don't know. That's hard. Read a book. That's all right. Book club is what Miss Owen says. Read a book together. Talk about it. Have something to talk about. Yeah, don't watch things I hate you. I mean, it's unfortunately it is a lot of folks. And what's crazy is I think there was a time I think that in previous years, it's not like everybody in the movie industry started hating the audience, but I just think there was a time where they realized that their feelings were just not that important and they didn't have to talk about it all the time. And now they think, well, we're going to come out and say it. So, Barracuda's Aquarium, thank you for the K-pop Demon Hunters recommendation. I was so happy to make that video, and I'm so glad people are loving that. It's just such an amazing, and I keep seeing new things about it, like things I didn't think to talk about. A friend of mine yesterday was showing me a video about this guy, the MT, I think he's on TikTok or something. And he talks about music, like the music theory, like deep into the music. And he was talking about how the structure of the music in K-pop Demon Hunters tells you subconsciously so much more about it than what you're like. Just it's a fun movie, but the more I see people dig into the technical parts of it, it is astonishingly well put together. It is phenomenal. But I haven't seen anything about Netflix Leviathan. I'm gonna look into that. Same thing with the Netflix Frankenstein by Guillermo del Toro that's coming out in a month or two, and I'm interested to see where that goes. I don't know who we were talking about there. I gotta get down. I gotta catch up to where we went at. Yeah. So Emma, I guess you're using Libby, or what was the other one? I was doing that for a while. I was using like the checkout audiobooks or checkout books or whatever on your Kindle. Those are cool services, but yeah, you do have to, crazy wait times. And then when it's your turn, you better read it because you got 2 weeks. You better read that thing because then it's out of your library again. If you can manage it, they're cool and it's free, but there's some juggling for sure. Sorry, my throat still. Sean's got some nice words about my acolyte analysis. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun making that one. Well, the first video, I had a blast just making the jokes. And then I started getting into the interviews, and it was crazy. I could not believe some of the stuff that I was reading that Hedlund kept saying in these interviews. Like, I was so just blown away that she would say some of this stuff out loud. Oh. Angurius said, seeing the sentiment that modern games, at least in the West, are focused on vibes and cinematic stuff. Older games just try to focus on in-depth mechanics and gameplay. And I think to a big extent that is true. Like the graphics war was bad for a lot of games, unfortunately, because it's sort of like movies. They thought the CGI was going to sell it, the big set pieces were going to sell it, and I can't remember who I was watching. I was watching somebody previously, and they were saying older games. They weren't like, you would just turn it on and there was a mission and you just went with it. There wasn't a big tutorial. Obviously, the controllers weren't as complicated, so that was a big thing. But games are, I mean, for better or for worse, they're more complex, which sometimes is great. Like Expedition is very complicated. There are multiple types of parries. There's all kind of customization for how you're going to set your character up with the lumens, a bunch of different weapons and their proper, like it's a really, when you think about it, it's a complex game. They introduce it slowly, which is nice, but it's big. But then something like I don't know, like a Super Meat Boy, you just turn it on and it's like, here, get through this level, jump and go, and just there it is. Or Silk Song, I think is gonna be the same way, where and Hollow Knight was the same way. Just here, move side to side and hit stuff, and you need to figure out where you're going, and there's a map, and you just kind of keep going. So I think that there is something to that a lot of these popular games, they're doing away with some of the bloat. And that is, I think that's going to go in that McMansion Media video as well. I'm going to make a little subcategory there where I talk about video games where we're putting things in entertainment that doesn't really belong. We just do it because other people, like crafting systems in video games. Not every game needs a crafting system. You don't have to collect things in the world and craft. Like not everything needs that. Not everything needs a quippy banter or whatever because other movies have done it. Not everything, and people are just tacking things on that don't really belong there, and it's causing a lot of scope creep in games, especially. It's causing a lot of bloat. It's causing a lot of boredom, I think, in shows and movies because they're not being efficient. They're not being intentional, and so the audience is like, well, I don't really know why we're doing all of these things, and yeah, I think that's why you see people saying that's why they're saying they're boring. We'll talk about that more often, where the word boring, I think, can mean so many things. And I think it's really just a representation of the audience not being connected. I think you should read more. Yeah, I got in a place where I was watching too much Instagram, too many reels and stuff. That stuff will wreck your attention span. It'll just make you feel funny. Just weird. You're getting sold to all the time. Yeah. Listen, and you don't have to read more. Listen to stuff. I listen to a ton of books. I'm a big believer in listening to books if you don't have time to read them. You should make time to read them, especially before bed. It helps you sleep. But you should also listen to books as well. This is my last slide here, but Dan James want to give me congratulations. And I question about faith and media. Why do I think Christians are so celebrating of mediocre entertainment when it aligns with the church and not demanding better? I think that this is the same reason that you see people defending anything that is, and this is why in my last video, I'm going to expand on this later. I should have, but I said in the last video, I don't want Disney making things for men. I don't want that because I know they're going to screw it up. I know anybody that's going to do would screw that up. They're going to be like, well, guys like explosions and guns and boobs and stuff. And all of that is true. But just because you put it in a movie doesn't make it for men, and it doesn't make it good. And you're also missing out on things that a lot of men like, and women too, mentor style relationships, true friendship, real romance, things like that. Those are not what usually come up in a conversation where people say, well, they should make things for guys. It's usually the action, the visual crazy. And that's why I don't want them doing it. And this is, I think Christians put up with mediocre crap for the same reason that I get people defending stuff like Ironheart or whatever. Because they just think, well, it was for me. I was told that it was for me. It looks like me. It aligns with me, whatever. And so I'm going to defend it. And you don't have to do that. Yeah, that I think it's a problem. It's the exact same problem with the representation thing, where people feel like, well, I have to support this because it was made for me. It's for my group, whatever, and you don't want to seem ungrateful, or you don't want to seem like you're turning on your own people or whatever. But it's the exact same problem. Oh, look, I'm big now because I'm all out of those questions. That's okay. Unfortunately, I have not read Win in Truth yet, so I don't have Brandon Sane or thoughts on Brandon Sane appearing to turn woke. I don't have thoughts on that yet. I'm gonna read that one or listen to it at least. I like Michael Kramer reading it to me, but I don't. I know that it's long, and that is the part that's really kind of.
No, it's just getting.
Yeah, Mrs. Owen is listening to it, and apparently it's just getting indulgent, right? Yeah, there's just parts that need to be trimmed really, really bad. I listened to recently the first book in the Sun Eater series by Christopher Rocio, something. And I noticed that in that book as well. Really good book, cool series. I'm going to listen to more of that series. But something I noticed in that book was there were parts I just thought we need to get going. We need to stop. It's not even that I don't want to stay in one place or that I just need action all the time. But sometimes a character isn't even doing anything. They're not saying anything. You're not learning anything. Nothing's happening in the plot with the character. Nothing. And there were a lot of times in that book that I felt you really should have edited this down a lot. And I think that's how I'm going to feel with Wind and Truth. That's how Mrs. Owen is feeling, that just there are parts of it that just these either don't need to exist. Somebody should have told you, cut this out entirely or cut it short or something. And it's a real problem when you get super famous. I think that some of these people, like it's like the George Lucas problem with the prequels. I don't think it's so much that I don't believe Brandon Sanderson has got like a big head and he suddenly thinks he's too good to take advice from people or whatever. I think what's going on is people are afraid they think they don't have the right to tell him this is not good. You should cut this, whatever. I think I've seen some of the behind the scenes stuff with Lucas making the prequels, and the people look like they were just so excited to be in the same room with him that they refused to tell him, I don't think this is good dialogue. I don't think this is whatever. And it's the onus as you get more famous and obviously successful. And the onus is on the creator themselves to tell people, please tell me what you don't like about this. Do not think that I am above whatever correction or something. And I think that's how you end up with a Wind and Truth length of book. That's how you end up with subject matter that just goes on forever, that doesn't belong in the book. It's how you end up with bad dialogue that, like some of the Star Wars prequels had. It's a real pitfall. And I think these people, I don't think they do it on purpose. I just think it feels nice that everybody's agreeing with you. Nobody ever tells you no. And it never dawns on you like, people aren't agreeing with me because I'm successful. And so they don't think that they should. And that's when it's on you to seek it out. That's why I was saying like the AI thing. You got to tell AI, a chatbot, disagree with me, please. Tell me where I'm wrong. My daughter read Frankenstein recently. That's another video that we want to do. I want to work on with her is like the themes and stuff. Pardon me. In that, I have not read Fountainhead, but I have read Atlas Shrugged. And it was hard to get through the end of Atlas Shrugged because there are a lot of things I like about it. A lot of things I think are interesting and really great, like pro-capitalism messages. The end monologue that John Galt gives is like, oh my God, it goes on forever, just forever and ever. Should have been edited down. And I also think that Atlas Shrugged is an interesting, it applies the ideas of capitalism to interpersonal relationships. And I think that it shows how weird and icky that is. Because for those of you that have not read it, the main character is Dagny Taggart. She is the co-heir to like this big railroad conglomerate, and she is trying to track down this guy, John Galt, who is convincing people to give up, and the world's kind of just dying, and they're all just going off to create their own sort of capitalist commune, like capitalist utopia, where they only trade in gold. And the trouble is that Dagny gets like passed around to whoever is the most successful. Like she is treated like an object. And it's weird because the authors, well, like Ayn Rand wrote this and basically wrote Dagny to be a trophy to be earned first by Henry Reardon and then by who else? Oh gosh, the guy that owns the mines, I can't think of his name, and then by John Galt himself. And it's weird. It's weird to say the least. That, and she's with it. Like, she's totally like, oh, these successful men, like, this guy is more successful. I'm gonna be with him. He's earned me, because she's a very successful woman. And I like the book, but I think that it shows the dangers of applying capitalist mindset to relationships and making them too transactional. Obviously, at a certain point, like, if you're in a relationship and you just give up on it, then that person's going to give up on you. And there is a certain point where, like, it's a give and take. But the book takes it to the extreme, and I think accidentally shows the pitfalls of it. And it's weird. Got to read a few more before I can do the romance. Well, I'm gonna do some shorts. I'm gonna go film some, once my voice gets a little better. I'm gonna film some shorts about this Fourth Wing and just how stupid it is. This is stupid language, stupid world building. It's just so bad. Yeah, Kevin's not against sex scenes, but they gotta move. Yeah, like action scenes or musical numbers have to push story along. The guys on stream try to convince me of a bunch of times that they did. The only one that I think I could be convinced on is Monsters Ball with Halle Berry. That's the one where they have a sex scene where she's like schizophrenic or something, and she convinces Billy Bob Thornton to have sex with her, and she starts shouting "Make me feel pretty" while they're having sex, and it's like part of her character's psychosis or whatever. I guess I could be convinced that that's makes sense, but I haven't seen that one, so I can't comment. But most of them I've seen, they're just total break in pacing. It's really, really bad. TWE told me about Chainsaw Man. I think either in a comment or a video comment or email, something. No, I haven't started reading it though, unfortunately. What's weird is I saw the popularity. I mean, it was everywhere for a while, and I just saw a dude with a chainsaw for a head, and I was like, okay, well, that looks kind of silly. Like, it's like the people with Bad Guys 2 and Transformers and stuff. I saw it, and I was like, it looks weird, so I'm not gonna read that. But he did convince me that it's got some really interesting themes, so I am gonna pick that up eventually. But yeah, the TBR is so long. Tabitha said, came to the same conclusion I did about romanticy. Same thing women complain about with female love interest who is just there as a prize to make the guy feel good. Yeah, it's I think it's a fantasy, right? Like, that is something that I don't know how to put it. Like, people make jokes like women really don't want to be spoken to like a book boyfriend. Like, no woman really wants to be, the eyes darkening and the growling and the you belong to me. Like, that's weird in real life. But what does it represent, right? It's like that critical reading thing. Like, what does this represent? What fantasy is this trying to scratch, whatever? And I think that's it. It's the romance thing. It's the hyper competence is very sexy, things like that. Like, I think that's what people are missing, and that's what they need to if they want these movies and things to appeal to women. That's what they need to do. And they need more slow burn stuff too. Like, I was talking to my wife about this. Like with Wheel of Time, people are sleeping together in the first episode. It's just, there's no build up to that. And we were talking about what came to mind for me was You've Got Mail. And I know there are complaints, like, it's weird that Tom Hanks is kind of toying with her. There's some weird stuff that you could say about it, but basically they don't get together until the end of the movie. 5 minutes for the credit rolls, she is saying, 2 minutes for the credits roll, she says, "I hoped it was you." They meet together in the park, they walk off, right? So, like, 2 hours for them to will they, won't they? And, like, that is what I think a lot of the female audience is wanting, not just they lock eyes and they go find a closet to bang in. Like, there's the romance, the build of it. That is what, and so the shows, when they do show romance, it's just purely physical. It's not actually romance. And then some of these books, they just jump right into the banging, and I don't know that those are doing as well either. I mean, with Fourth Wing, nobody's had sex, and I'm 8-9 chapters in, so it's, it is. You could call it a setup, I guess, if you want to, although it's been heavily hinted at. So they're going to get into it. Yeah, the fact there's no original writers for Yotei, that's I get the suspicion, so I'm gonna I guess since I'm not going to get a review copy, I'm going to wait and watch reviews myself. I'm going to do, like I do with everything. But I'm I'm optimistic about it. So I'm gonna have to hear a lot of negative stuff because I don't want before I decide I don't want to buy it because I like a lot of games that Sucker Punch has made. Mm-mm-mm. I don't remember what we were talking about when that came up. I did vote for Gary Johnson. I knew that he was going to get in the White House and smoke weed all day and not do a whole lot, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a quiet president. He was a goofy guy, but he wouldn't do much, and that's what I want. I want them to do less. Anxious wants to know, during Echo Chamber, you ever thought of a guest that's more focused on video games? Sometimes we do. So the thing is, Echo doesn't play any video games. Despot does a tiny bit, but mostly older games. So he doesn't really, neither of those guys like stay up on the news with it. They don't play like current games. And so every now and then we do, like Vex Electronica will come on. She plays a lot of games. I'm trying to think of who else. I know Mahler does. He was on one time. So Rags was on. So we have done it. And it's funny because that guest and myself will start talking about it, and Echo and Despot are both just like, I got nothing. I don't know. So we don't talk about it a ton because that segment will go on and they're like, well, I'm going to assume everything you guys just said was correct because we don't know. Yeah, it's, I might try to stream more with people. Like I said, I'm going to try to stream with Samwise, Master Samwise, and see if we can do some split fiction together. Because he said he wanted to play it. I thought he did play it, and I tweeted him about it, and he said he tried to play it with his wife. She wasn't super into it, so he hasn't played a whole lot of it, and he's excited. So that, I think, would be I think we'd have a good time with that. Yeah, I do. I do get that being a moderate leftist, it's rough because I'm not super pro government, but I get it. Like I get people that are like, look, I want a little bit. I want the government to be doing a little bit of something, But then what their representatives do, it's insanity. And they're like, well, great. Now I'm represented by that. And I get a lot of people like they don't like Trump, and they're like, well, I'm not going that direction, but my party is not representing me. So now what? And I think that was the election really showed the results of that, where people were just like, well, I'm just going to stay home. And that's why Kamala had super low numbers, because it's nobody. They thought, well, I don't like Trump, but I'm not going to vote for her. I don't know these third parties. I'm just going to not go vote this year. And I think that's what happened. Millions and millions of people did. It was crazy low turnout. Cup of juice, hanging out. Hello. Howdy, howdy. I got to get down a bit. I'm getting backed up. I think that, so I think with Superman, I think it was started being made before the Israel-Palestine thing got really heated. That doesn't mean that they weren't aiming for it, because they've been obviously unfriendly neighbors for a very, very long time. But I caught a little bit of that myself, that there was a little bit of, you could definitely interpret it that way very, very easily. And I don't know if they just accidentally did that or if that really was what they were going for, but it was, yeah, it was there for sure. Or it felt like it was there. Yeah. Livewire is absolutely correct here. The parties have too much power in the current voting schema, so they try to divide every political issue down party lines, even though some political issues have more than two political solutions. Completely correct. And then you have a lot of voters that are there's like one or two things that they really, really feel strongly about, and obviously you just can't care about everything. And so, but people just are like, well, I agree on these one or two things, so I'm going to vote with the party on the rest of the things, and that is that's how you get these giant bills where you have congressional members all voting together with only one or two things that they actually wanted, but the bill is stuff with it's a really, really messed up system. And I get this too. Like, a lot of people don't like libertarian position, and I do understand that. Unfortunately, sometimes libertarians get really weird, and this is the thing about them that frustrates me. That rather than just advance what I would like to see of, like, I would like to convince people that a lot of the problems that we see are because of we just have too much regulation. and it causes, like, you can't start a small business. It's very hard to start a small business because of the regulations involved. And large companies are fine with it. I mean, it does cost them money, but they have the flexibility to roll with that. And there are a lot of hurdles, barriers to entry for small businesses, things like that. Or there are so many layers of regulation, layers of laws, things like that. It makes it very difficult and expensive to start a business. It makes it very, like, you can do things illegally, accidentally, all kind of stuff. The problem is then you have libertarians that are like, yeah, and you should be able to buy heroin at Walgreens. And I'm like, God, guys, come on. Can we work on some of the smaller problems first? Before we're trying to say that, like, some of these crazy ideas, like this totally libertine society, like, can we just let's try to just peel back a little bit of the regulatory layers. Let's try to peel back a little bit of the spending. Let's just reduce that and show the benefits of that before we start talking about how if 12-year-olds want to work in the mines, by God, they should be allowed. Like, stop that shit. It sounds crazy. Or a few years ago, the dude that took all his clothes off at the damn convention and ran around in Stars and Stripes underwear on a bet. Took a bet that he wouldn't do it. Stripped down to his Speedo and then ran around. Like, it's just, it's very, very bad. And that is true. Yeah, it's and that's myself. That's the other reason I like to read my scripts to Mrs. Owen, because it's easy to get ranty and get anti-woke. And she's like, yeah, you're getting a little, just getting, like, you're not really making a point. You're just angry. So it's really nice. It's nice to have someone. You got to have somebody that will tell you that what you're saying doesn't make any sense. It's excellent. I have been on Critical Drinker twice, but I have not been on Nerdrotic Show, Friday Night Tights. I'm usually busy on Friday nights, and that one looks chaotic. But I have been on with Critical Drinker. It's a lot of fun. I'm really glad to get the invite when I do. And BSEP as well. I haven't been on BSEP in a while. Movie Cynic asked me the other day after I hit 100,000, but I was super busy that day and I couldn't make it. So hopefully I'll be on there with him again soon. Oh, you already answered that one for me. A couple of you said, yeah, there were some sincere moments in Superman. There was some compassion, right? But like, for me, and I don't want to act like this is too big of a deal, I just, like, the saving the squirrel thing felt like one of those things that it almost felt like he was almost making a joke about goodness. Like, we're going to save everybody, even the squirrels. Like, that to me was one of those weird, naive things where it didn't really show, like, moral goodness. It was just kind of a goofy joke that he made, and it sort of took the emotional impact out of Superman trying to be good. I have not seen A24's Warfare. I want to. I saw the trailers for it, and I was like, that's super cool looking. I told some of my friends who were ex-military, they liked it. I thought they would be into it because I know a lot of war movies and stuff, they get a lot of things wrong, and that one apparently was trying to be more accurate, more real, that sort of thing. I don't have the experience to go with that because I've never been in the military, but it does look really cool. I like the concept of it. I think it's interesting. Those of you guys don't know that Warfare was, it was some situation, guys got attacked, and they interviewed everybody, got all their recollections, and tried to build a minute-by-minute series of events. And then the movie is real-time, one-to-one, minute-to-minute type thing. That's how they wanted it to go. So there are cuts and everything, but it's supposed to progress chronologically exactly how it happened in real life. And that's a cool concept. I like that. I want to see that. I might need to watch Red Sonja also to talk about that. Oh, Stream Tuesday, we got to talk about the new Meghan Markle show too. We got to watch some of that. The new cooking show, the second season of the cooking show. Oh, we got to watch that one. I didn't. I embarrassed myself last time because we were going to talk about it, and Echo and Desperate watched it, and I didn't make time, and so I felt bad because I didn't come prepared. So I will this Tuesday. I'll have watched it. Yeah, I might do the Discord thing. Like I said, I got to find some moderators. Catherine said, "Oh, here we are. I'm down to it." So she might help me out here. So that's really, really good.
You had a couple people
That's excellent. You guys know my email is gregowenofficial@gmail. So if you're willing to help me moderate it, that would be really, really that'd be beneficial because I sure can't. Emma said she would help. That's really nice. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's I wouldn't have time for it. I'll try to stop in, and I would stop in and chat because I like the chatting, but I wouldn't have time to moderate it, organize it, that sort of thing. Yeah, yeah. Some of the Greek legends are some of the ways people were born. Yeah, they're strange. But my son's into it. He also listened to what was it, Nordic Legends or something by Neil Gaiman. He liked that one too. Yeah, I think that it would probably be tied to the membership thing with the channel or something, some way to do that, because yeah, if it's just pure public, people get in there and they just start being stupid, and yeah, it's rough. I have seen people that are mad at Silksong for being so cheap. I don't get it. I love when companies are pro-consumer. That's why I uptalk Larian all the time with Baldur's Gate. Like, I would the only thing that I want from Baldur's Gate 3 they haven't done yet is I want them to make one-shot DLCs, because that game is very long. I beat it one time. I started a second playthrough on like the Dark Urge Evil playthrough. Just it took forever. I didn't have time for it. I was also playing on a console, which was a terrible, terrible mistake, because trying to move inventory around with a controller sucks. But what I would love to see them do is do some one-shots, just 8-10 hours worth of whatever small story. You start with a character that's like level 8, whatever, something, right? Streamline it so you can play it quickly, and I would pay them. I would gladly pay them for that DLC. They won't do it. They keep putting the updates out for free, adding more classes, making the game bigger and more complex, totally for free. They're so pro-consumer. I want to pay them for something else, and they won't do it. And I love seeing stuff like that. I like to see the director for Lords of the Fallen 2 came out and said that I think that game's going to be $60 instead of 8. Like, everybody else is like, well, we're going from 70 to 80. He was like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going from 70 to 60 now. I'm looking forward to playing that one. It's going to come out next year. I love that some of these people, especially these smaller studios that aren't beholden to a big publisher, it's one of the dangers getting bought up is they can make choices like that. Larian doesn't have to answer to anybody. They have all the money in the world. They do their own thing, and I love that. CD Projekt Red is that way as well. I know that they got a bit of a black eye for the Cyberpunk launch. They lied. I really shouldn't even sugarcoat it. They lied to people. They knew the game was broken at launch, but they'd hyped it too much and they had to put it out. And that got them some really ill will, but they have lots of money. They don't have to answer anybody. And so they can take their time. They can make whatever they want. They can charge whatever they want, as low as they want. I think it's fantastic. And I love to see it. I'm really glad that Team Cherry decided they want to do $20 for that game. Love it. Yeah. So I'm an old school turn-based Final Fantasy fan. I know Final Fantasy 16 is like an action-oriented thing. That was one of the things I didn't like about Final Fantasy 15. I didn't love the action-based combat of it. It was just I wasn't expecting it. I didn't go in thinking about that, and I played it at launch, and it wasn't completed at that time. I also haven't bought any of more of the Final Fantasy 7 remakes because I like the original. I like turn-based of it. I think the update is cool, but I just I like the old version, and like that's a me thing. They're changing it, and I just don't want to go with it. But I do. People talk up Final Fantasy 16, and I want to make my own feelings about it at some point. I want to try it, but the demo had that big long summons battle, and honestly, I got bored. It was crazy. It was such a spectacle thing, and it just kept going forever and ever. That big summons fight, and I just thought, I didn't love it. But I'm going to try it. I own it. I'm going to try it. Yeah, the characters in Expedition 33 are great. I'm interested to see. I don't know. I'm in the middle of the monolith. I think I'm at the end of Act 2. Got some theories about what's going on. I'm so interested. Like, they are stringing me along, and I'm so interested to see what is going on. Why are the antagonist characters doing what they're doing? Why do people look similar? Why? What was the fracture? Like, I have so many questions. This game has got me so interested. I cannot wait. Yeah, I don't know what Silksong is. I thought it was a sequel, but I don't know. I haven't played it yet. Chad likes the Dresden Files. I'm hoping to like it too. I think that I will. I really do. Savant. Oh, that's that one with all the memes, right? With the gal looking at the computer screen. That one's gonna be fun. Yeah, I'm gonna get into Dungeon Crawler for sure. Ooh, I gotta scroll down some. Mm, mm, mhm. Oh yeah, one of the members streams. Joseph said he was gonna write a short story and send it to me, and then I was gonna send it to everybody else, all the other members that wanted it. That's cool. Keep working on it, man. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Give it time to bake. Make sure it's really, really good. Go over it multiple times. Edit it hard. Yeah, I think I will. I think I'm going to do that. I told Samwise, I said if we need to make it interesting, he's Catholic. I said we need to come up with a bunch of interesting Catholic and Protestant insults that we can shout back at each other. We'll try to spice the stream up a little bit and get some drama going on in case we're not interesting enough on our own. Yeah. Is that us dating? I think I have a picture. I'm going to post it next year. I have a picture of us at our first homecoming in my office. Heck yeah, I do. You were wearing that red dress, the black and red one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably have that one right now. I don't have
No, I don't think I have the swing fire stuff. I don't have me in the blue vest and her in the blue dress and everything, but I do. I have a physical photo of us on our first, I think it was homecoming or maybe it was prom, but it was one of our first dances in her parents' living room, and we're gonna be married 20 years next spring. So I'll post that at some point. Yeah, that's it is. We were adorable, and I was thinner then. That's for darn sure.
Oh my gosh.
I was a Rayleigh. Well, this is a very nice question. Adrian wants to know, how does it feel being awesome? Keep up the awesome. It feels great. I don't know. I don't feel awesome at the moment, but I do appreciate everybody hanging out with me and tuning in and watching the videos and stuff. So I guess that is awesome. I appreciate the kind words. I watched this. Joseph said about Master Samwise's story about modern stories being too bleak, and I watched that one yesterday. It was really good. He really made some great points about how everybody's obsessed with being bleak all the time, and it's not that you can't tell a bleak story. And his point was like, yeah, sometimes life sucks and life is hard, and there's a time and a place to make those stories. Like, I mean, I was talking about Crime and Punishment earlier. It's a very bleak story. It's like super bleak Eastern European. But there is underneath that, there's a hopeful tone, or there's a warning, or there's something. Like, the things that drive me crazy, and I think what he was talking about, are the stories that are just bleak for bleak's sake, just because. Like, and a lot of people think it's edgy and cool, and I don't vibe with that at all. It doesn't really. And I don't think a lot of the audience does. I think a lot of people, it just is depressing. And it's not that everything needs to be like this toxic positivity, but I think he was absolutely right. I think K-pop Demon Hunters it shows negatives. It shows characters struggling with something, but then they overcome it, and there's like a positive theme. And even in what was the other? There was another. I can't remember the other example to use in that video, but it was like a darker, bleaker story. But the point was. Things are dark when you do this, so don't. And it's hopeful. There's like a hopeful subtext to it there. Catherine wanted to know if I played Undertale or Deltarune. I own Undertale, and I haven't played it yet. My girls played Stardew Valley, or they did, like crazy. They were playing that constantly. And I think I looked it up on stream one time. I don't think I bought Deltarune yet, because it's like coming out in phases. It's from the same developer as Undertale. It looks like a lot of fun, and I am gonna check that out. I do, like I said, I own Undertale. I just haven't. I haven't gotten to it on the queue yet. Oh yeah, people defend. You know what's funny is people don't defend Ironheart. They just attack you for saying that it's bad. That's the funny thing, is that people, they won't tell you why Ironheart is good. They'll just tell you that you're wrong for saying it's bad. Or this next video has a segment where I show some of the comments. People are like, oh, well, Tony Stark was just as bad. He was a whatever. he was responsible for so many deaths. He was an arms dealer. People kept saying that he sold weapons of mass destruction. Like, I mean, yes, he was a government contractor, so like it's not. They phrase it like he was selling nuclear arms at black market bazaars or some crap. Like, so yes, people do try to defend it, but they do so by not saying that it was good. They just try to retcon everything else. My favorite one were people that were like, y'all like Scott Lang, Ant-Man, he was a thief. And it's like, they're not even close to the same at all. And we didn't see him stealing from people. We didn't see him stealing from sleeping people like Ironheart. Like, oh my God, it's just, yes, people do defend it. It's so ridiculous. Oh, yeah. And this is what I was saying, Catherine's echoing here. Like, you just make a good product, right? Like, and the thing is, I like when you say just make a good product, and people were commenting this, they were like, well, if you just make something for everybody, it's for nobody. And I agree with, like, when I say make a good product, it's like it's a genre thing. Like if I'm making a sci-fi thing or I'm making a romance movie or story or whatever, I want to make a really good romance. I want to make a really good rom-com. I want to make a really good epic sci-fi whatever. And there are certain things in those genres that you should and should not be doing. And to make it good, like there are certain things that are just universally good, like natural dialogue is universally good. Doesn't matter who you're, what genre you're in. Characters having good, oh, that was the thing. The guy that asked about the writing advice. Your characters have to have good motivations. That's the number one thing. Your character needs to be a real person with a real motivation. I think too many people sleep on the Enneagram deal. If you guys haven't heard of this, it's like a 9-number circle thing for like personalities. That describe what these types of personalities thrive in, what they don't thrive in, how they respond to certain types of things. Like it describes certain personality types. And if you build a character, not obviously like color by numbers, but when your character has real understandable motivations, then the plot kind of writes itself because you just ask, well, what would this character do? And then they do it. That's why Arcane season 1 I thought was brilliant because every character had a very clear ethos. They had a very clear motivation. You knew what they did made sense with who they were, and it was clearly established. And so the plot sort of wrote itself because in any given situation, what would Violet do? What would Jace do? Okay, well then they do the thing that makes the most sense for that type of character to do, and then the story just happens. And I agree with Catherine here that I think when they try to target an audience, that's how you get away from doing that, and you do something that makes the plot happen, or you do something that the female audience or the male audience will like or whatever. And that's your huge mistake. You just write characters as people and make sure you fully understand them as real people and their motivations and their beliefs and the lies they tell themselves and what their virtues and all of that. And then 90% of your story is done because they just do and say the things that a person like that would do and say. And then there's your story right there. To kind of not add in social issues over his characters. Yeah, I do think that he's just trying to be nice. And yeah. You're talking about King of Kings here, the Angel Studios Charles Dickens Jesus movie. I don't know that it was disappointment. It was all right. There were a few sweet spots in it, but it was okay. Kids liked it. We went and saw it with some friends of ours. We liked it. What the kids have been watching recently is Sketch from Angel Studios, where the troubled kid is like drawing crazy, horrible murder drawings, and then they come to life. And the dad is very worried about it. And they've been really liking that one. Hey, Ty Fung is here. Nope, didn't miss it. Thank you so much for the congratulations. I appreciate it. Ooh, Clive recommended Geeky Stokes. I haven't heard of that even. Huh. Cool. Write that one down. I'll watch that. I have not read Jane Eyre. And that I think my wife wants me to read real bad. I'm going to read some of those. I don't think I haven't read some of those books. I haven't read Sense and Sensibility. Haven't read Jane Eyre. Got to read Wuthering Heights. I do want to read them though. I mean, it's just good literature. Like I understand the romances and like obviously more women like them than men, but it's just good writing, and I just want to read it. I don't, and I have. Ooh, this is a really good one. So And what's so weird, like with YouTube, everything now, I'm just like, ooh, I can make a video out of it. That's my whole life now. It's just like, oh, video topics. But I do want to talk about so I'm not too far into Freerin yet. I'm like 6-7 episodes in, whatever. And this is another thing, sort of like the Cormac McCarthy thing. The Freerin show is weird because it's slow, but I'm engrossed in it. And that to me is interesting because I think about each episode. I'm like, really not that much happened. People move slowly, they talk slowly, nothing crazy going on. But when the episode ends, next episode, I gotta see where this, like, I'm engrossed in it. And Violet Evergarden was the same way. It's pretty slow. And these two shows, they're both anime shows. They're very pretty, first of all. And also, I like this theme of the robotic, heartless character trying to learn how to be human, is kind of the connecting bit between those. And it's very similar to, I don't know if you guys remember those Nathan Pyle comic strips, the Odd Planet or Strange Planet or whatever, like the aliens. And he was just sort of making fun of like weird things that we all do and having aliens do them like humans. And you could tie in, honestly, with that video, I could tie in Near Automata and Near Replicant, similar ideas of robots trying to figure out how to be human, don't know how to do it. And I would love, I'm going to finish that show. It's really, really good so far. Super cool premise of, it's like a D&D campaign, but after the campaign. And now one of the characters lives forever and has to continue living on after this big momentous thing has happened. Really, really great show. Yeah, I want to talk about that subject matter, that like viewing humanity through the eyes of someone who doesn't know how to human correctly and learning how to be an emotional human person. Really, really cool story. Story Night, $5. Thank you so much. Says the vast majority of sex scenes are pointless most of the time. An implication that faded black or not even mentioned is all bad. I completely agree. I think that it's an action scene. You could make the argument some of them are empty, although really good ones. Like I know I was talking about this with K-pop Demon Hunters. They really advance more of the story. But yeah, I don't think that I've never seen a sex scene that was, I could be like, oh well, the way they were doing it really told me about the characters. I don't agree with that at all. Hold on just one moment. That's excellent. Excellent television right there. Oh my goodness. Oh, there we go. I'm all clear now. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, Summer Entity is good. Lunar Chronicles is a lot of fun one. A lot of fun. That's like a fun, like fairy tale twist type thing. I did read those. My daughter read those. She liked them a lot. But the dark romantasy stuff, some of it is like, it's like I've heard about some of it's like crazy abusive relationships. Like, oh, some of it's weird. Yeah, it's just, I know I come off as a prude, but I just don't love it. I just think it really just slows things down. Dark wants to know if I've thought about reviewing Christian media. I'm guessing he's going to say the good, the bad. Something got cut off there. Here it is. Good, mid, and bad. I have in the past a little bit. I was working with, I guess not working with, I was working with a guy at Angel Studios, and he was like, oh, we're going to do like an ambassador thing. I want you to be an Angel ambassador. And then we never really followed. I never followed up with him. Never got back to it. I do subscribe to them, and their service. Every now and then I do it, but I guess I would need to. Like I was talking about earlier, like you need to have like a take an angle on a video, is what I try to do with mine. So I would want to watch a bunch of them and sort of talk about that, like the good, the mid, the bad, like what makes them good, what makes them bad, that sort of thing. But yeah, I have covered some. Like I've done just straight up reviews in the past of Bonhoeffer, Friedrich Bonhoeffer, the biopic from last year, or Angel had one. The Shift. That's what it was. The Shift. It was all right. It was a little. That was one that was like too on the nose. They were just trying to be too on the nose with it, and that is my biggest gripe with a lot of Christian media is they want to squeeze a whole gospel story into the movie, and I just think it's better to focus on one or two virtues or traits or something or a theme that you want to explore and stick with that, and don't beat the audience over the head with it. I think there are a lot of parallels with the quality issues with Christian media and the quality issues with like woke media, is that it's just you're trying too hard to not tell a story. You're trying too hard to tell me your viewpoint. And if you write a good story and you just keep your viewpoint in mind, it will probably shine through. But when you try to force it, it ends up being bad. Yeah, Split Fiction is great. I haven't finished it yet. It's really, really good. One complaint that I heard about when it was happening. Well, you didn't miss it, Sleeve. Glad you're here. Glad to see you. When it came out, a lot of people told me, like in the comments and stuff, because I made a video earlier this year about like games I was excited about, upcoming stuff, whatever. And Split Fiction was one of them. And people said, yeah, because I liked It Takes Two. That was their previous game from Hazelight Studios. And people said that the characters just weren't as good. One of the characters, Mio, they said, she's just really, really annoying. And so far, unfortunately, I haven't finished the game yet. And so unfortunately, so far it is correct. She's just like the super edgy character for no reason. It's not great. But I am liking the gameplay. It is, it's so good. Such good gameplay. Thank you so much, Typhon. Appreciate you, sir. Also a longtime member, one of the originals. I appreciate it very, very much. And I'm glad you're joining me on this Saturday. Yeah, and Kevin's correct here that politics shown him recently. A lot of people don't have a lot of beliefs. They just, they'll switch sides over one issue. They'll change their view. A lot of the parties, they just want to win. Interestingly, I can't remember who did it. A long time ago, a commenter told me about a channel called Do Dissidents, and they were like, "You should watch this. A good channel, whatever." And these guys are, they're like super socialists. So we don't agree on economics. We're never going to agree on economics. These guys, like, they're big into union organizing and socialism, and like that's their thing. But then also at the same time, the show is they talk about like some of the dumb culture war stuff, some of the dumb moves, because I don't know that they would call themselves Democrats, but they're going to they want to vote on that side if it's a two-side thing. But they complain about that a lot too, that just they've said in the past, like, guys, we are freaking we are communists, like that. We want communism, we want socialism, right? But our party, the people that represent us, are talking about these dumb social issues, these dumb let's talk about trans kids or whatever. And these two guys are just like, what are we doing? This is ignorant. Coming this way. Okay. So yeah, I feel for folks that are like, I want my party to represent like real day-to-day issues. I don't want them representing these weird culture issues. And yeah, Muad'Dib is absolutely correct. Can't have an opinion on every single issue. I think that's one of the biggest issues. Like, people talk about, social media is bad. I think one of the biggest issues with social media is it makes you feel like you need to have an opinion on a lot of stuff, and just you don't. Like, you're not going to ever hear me talking about the Israel-Palestine thing. I don't know shit about that. I don't know the history of it. I don't know enough of, I got nothing. I got no opinions. I just don't. I mean, I guess my only opinion is a lot of people are dying, and that's bad. So there's my hot take. I don't want people to die unnecessarily, and that's all I know about it. So, and it's stuff like that I think more and more what we need to be doing, more people need to be doing, is just going, yeah, I don't know. No idea. I got no opinion. And I'm not going to make one up on the spot just because. Oh, Sleep wants to know about YouTube channel Second Story. Yes, I have. Love her videos, and I would like to try to petition to get her on the Echo stream. I know Echo likes to get writers and stuff on. Like, he wants to do more bookish stuff. Like, he's been getting the No Nonsense editor, Kristen from the No Nonsense editor. She's been on the show a couple of times, and she's really fun. And I would like to get him to get more book folks like that. Like, I think Second Story would be a fun on the stream. She does good videos. They're long, but they're good. Yeah, Larry needs to add a custom map creator for Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, if they let the community have at it, they'd have all kinds of there'd be content forever. You could play that game forever and ever. It's amazing. Do you want to the Final Fantasy Tactics? That's why I'm so excited about Final Fantasy Tactics coming at the end of this month. My trouble is that I don't stream a lot because I don't have a lot of time for it. But I thought about streaming games or whatever, but the games that I like to play are not stream friendly. Like, Final Fantasy Tactics is not a streamy game. Expedition 33, I don't think, is a streamy kind of game. Like, it just, I don't know that it would. I mean, I might do it just for fun because I'll be playing it anyway, so why not stream it and just chat with people? But yeah, I don't do like a lot of Fortnite. I don't dislike the game. I just don't play a lot of it. Or I guess Rocket League is something I do like that one. But it's yeah, that's I don't do a lot of game streaming or game videos or whatever because they're just hard. They're harder to make videos about. They're harder to stream for sure. I want to know if I play less combat heavy games like Satisfactory. Oh, here it is. Satisfactory played up or Stardew Valley. Not Stardew Valley, but puzzle games I like a lot. I was playing last year. I was playing the Talos Principle 2. That is fantastic, phenomenal game, and it gets a little philosophical if you want to dig into the recordings and all that sort of stuff and like the story of what's going on, or you just want to do the puzzles. That's fine, but usually that's what I go with are the more puzzly type games. There is on Game Pass. There's one that I've been wanting to play called. Do I have it in here? Is it Eternal Strands or? Hang on. I got Xbox thing pulled up here. Did I get rid of it? Oh, Cocoon. Cocoon is another one that is like a puzzly style game. So I do like those. Those are the ones that when I'm doing less combat, that's what I'm going to go to. What I have not played yet is Balatro. That was that card game that I think won Game of the Year last year or something, and people are just like obsessed with it. I bought that one again on sale, and I just haven't gotten into it. I saw reviews for that. Didn't make me want to play it though. I think it was like Healthy Gamer GG or something, that his review was something to the effect of, I heard about this game, didn't know much about it, tried it one morning, and then when I was still playing it that evening, I realized, oh crap, this game is amazing. And I was like, okay, that convinces me. I think I want to play this. I bought it for sure. Slaughterhouse 5. That's the meatpacking book. You know, another one I haven't read, a famous one that I haven't read is not Animal House, Animal Farm. I haven't read Animal Farm. I do want to read that one. One of those classic ones. Thank you, mate. Giving away 5 memberships. I appreciate that very much. Mate loves giving away memberships, and I love when he does. Thank you very, very much, sir. I appreciate it. Appreciate you hanging out. Mate's always on the streams, hanging out in the comments and stuff. I appreciate it. Yeah, like we were talking about earlier with the characters. And with Ironheart too, yeah. Difference between a character flaw and a character justification. Absolutely. Livewire is correct on that one. The flaw is you know, that's how you can tell a story with a flaw. Justification is just plot. It's yeah. Yeah, and this is I brought this up in the video that, you know, they showed Scott Lang doing the math, you know, that he needs to see his daughter, and they show him in the car. He's writing down how long it's going to take him at his current income to pay back his child support, and see, it's like they show you that, and then as the audience, like, oh my god, this guy just wants to see his kid, and it's going to take him 3 years, and he feels like he has to get back into, you know, crime, and he told his roommate no at first, and then realizes he can't find a job because he's a felon. Like, they show you all of that. And so you're along for that ride. Ironheart didn't do those things. And so that's why I'm watching it like, well, you say you have to sell this, or you say you have to steal, but I'm seeing all kind of ways you could have made money. Like, it just you didn't show me that struggle. And so I can't follow that story at all. And you know, Pandemonium is right. This is at this point, if Disney launched something good, everybody's fed up, they wouldn't give it a chance. They really have dug themselves a hole where, unfortunately, they're going to have to release several good things in a row that are all going to have good word of mouth. They'll have to understand that they will not make money on the first 2 or 3 or 4 really good things. They'll have to build that reputation back up, because she's absolutely right. Like, even if something came out that was amazing, I think a lot of people just thought, like, like an MCU movie came out even that was amazing, people would think, well, I don't care. I haven't been following it, so I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to watch that. I don't care that it's good. I'm done with that franchise. I'm done with that brand. They'll have to really build new momentum. They really need to start over. In my opinion, I think this whole Doomsday Secret Wars thing, I think it's just a mistake. They should just stop. Don't even finish what you've started. Just give up. Just give up and say just like DCU did that. After Aquaman, there was no wrap up of the previous DCEU. They were just like, we're starting over with the Gunverse. We're just doing it. We're moving on, and that's what the MCU really needs to do, because people are just not following it. They're not sticking with it. They don't care anymore. Yeah, I fully agree. Yeah, Jason, ask a question, man. I'm a little behind, but I'll get up to them. Ronnie, $10. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate the super chats, you guys. Have I read The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch? Yes, I have. That was one my wife recommended, and I listened to that one really not that long ago, and it was excellent. A little more tragic than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a happy, heisty band of thieves kind of and it got dark at the end. Like, really, things run off the rails. I am interested in the rest of the series. I'm gonna get more of this, but I think it changes. I feel like changes genres, right? Or time. Loch Lamora, didn't you say like it totally switches up? Yeah, but I'm interested to continue that one. BL, love you. Thank you. Love you too. I appreciate it. Chap said it's really hard to write Christian fiction, especially if you're a fantasy fan like myself. Everything comes across as too on the nose, moral wise, and it's true. It is difficult. I think the closest thing I can think of is either the Golden Compass stuff, or obviously, you know, the Narnia. But even that, the imagery is pretty. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like Aslan is the messianic figure. It's pretty on the nose. So it is. It's very, very difficult. But that's what makes the good ones really stand out. I think that's why K-pop Demon Hunters stood out so much. I don't think that they were trying to tell a Christian story. I just think that the themes went along with it. The themes of, you know, shame and perfection and all of these types of things. I think that speaks to a lot of Christians, but I think it also speaks to a lot of other people as well. So that's the benefit of not trying to tell a specific Christian imagery type story. Yeah, I'm into Fur, and everybody's been busy. We haven't had time to watch it like in the evenings because my kids want to watch it too. So that's what's holding us back, is we don't want to watch it apart from each other. We don't want to watch it together, but somebody's always busy. Like, teenagers with lives now. It's ridiculous. 5K training's not going. It's not going at all. About a month ago, I started having this knot in my shoulder that has gotten so bad at this point that it's like pulling my arm and neck and everything out of whack. I was on steroids and stuff trying to loosen it up. So no, I'm not doing that. But I am hosting a 5K later this month, actually, for Safe Families. They asked me to do an MC thing, so I was going to run. I think my wife and kids are going to walk in it, but I'm not going to run in that one. I don't have time to train for it now. I do want to though, because like I said, I'm unhealthy. This lifestyle is unhealthy, and it's starting to hurt physically the way that I'm living. It's not good. Thanks for hanging out, Jekta. I get it. I get it's busy. It's Saturday, but I appreciate you popping in, and I appreciate you all the comments, the support and stuff, and you in the member stream. Thank you, sir. Sleeve for $10. Thank you so much, sir. A mystery is his favorite genre. Grew up loving Sherlock Holmes books, Scooby-Doo, and Monk. Planning on telling his own detective stories one day, and I hope that you do. I love that. I like mystery too. From my mother-in-law, she had these Sherlock Holmes radio stories on CD that she had bought, and then she listened to them all, gave them to me. Those were fun. Those are like old radio shows are super fun, and they try to throw the sound effects in live, and they're acted out and everything. Those were good. I enjoyed those a lot. The Sherlock show got off the rails, and I know that the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock got a little goofy toward the end as well. I'm interested to see somebody try it again. Try to bring that back up. Yeah, Amanda likes Split Fiction. I do too. I want to finish that one. That's another one I want to finish with my kids. The trouble is I've got 3 boys. They all want to play. So like I have played the first third or half of that game 3 times now because I'm trying to work through it with each one of them. So I haven't finished the game, but I've played the first half a lot of times with both characters. It's excellent. The Hazelight does a great job with just their gameplay is so interesting. It's so much fun. It's so smooth. There's lots to do in their games. It's great. Yeah, Shoe on Head is the same way. She's funny in her videos because she'll say stuff and be like, "Oh, you're one of these right winger or whatever," and she's like, "Guys, I'm such a like." She's like, "I'm a open socialist, like 100% socialist. It's just that the social stuff, the culture war stuff it's dumb, and she hates it. But she's like, but yeah, no, economically." You're like 100% super lefty socialist. Yeah. And I know she says that a lot in her videos. Like you don't have to be both. And I know a lot of people are feeling that. They're rough. Heck yeah, Slave, you and Joseph, send me your stories when you're done. And if you give me permission, I'll send them out. All right. So Jason said, all right, off topic. Favorite quote or anecdote from a historical figure? I do. As a matter of fact, it is from Epictetus, who was a Stoic philosopher, and he has this passage about lettuces. And well, it's not about lettuces. It's about how you can't be jealous of people. I don't have it memorized, but it's about how you can't be jealous of people that have things if you're not willing to do exactly all the things that they've done. And he talks about how, people they get respected in the marketplace, or they get favorable seating, or they hobnob with people, and they have lots of money and whatever, right? But if you're not willing to do all of this, if you're not willing to go rub elbows with all the same people, you're not willing to kiss all the same butts that person is, you're not willing to go and flatter people, and you're not willing to sacrifice and whatever, then you also don't get to have what that person has. And that's okay, because then you don't have to do those things. And his illustration is, if you go and he says you can go to the market and you can buy 2 lettuces for an obulus, and you have to give up the money, but you get the lettuce. But if you don't want the lettuces, that's okay, because you still have the money. You've not lost anything in either direction. It's just that you traded one for the other, which one you favor more. And then he ends this maxim paragraph with, in the same way, you don't have to feel like you're missing out because you don't have what this other person you're jealous of has, because you didn't have to do all of the same things that person had to do. You don't have to be in that person. You don't have to be that person. And I think that is, I love that quote. Love it. I thought about getting like a lettuce tattoo at one point because I like it so much. I just think it's a great thing to remember. You're trading value, right? And there are a lot of things I wish I had, but I wouldn't give up what I have to have them. And so it's a good reminder. Oh, that's nice of you to say. Not for the gamer content, to stream whatever. Riff when it feels like. I think that's my I think I could stream like Final Fantasy Tactics or Witness or something. I cannot stream. I like to play Dark Souls style games. Can't stream those. My wife knows I can't talk to her when I'm doing, because like I can't. I'll be halfway through a sentence, but I'm trying to dodge, and then I forget what I was saying. So it would be the worst stream ever. I have seen Charlie son or his last the Penguin Z0, whatever, he'll stream Dark Souls. He can like talk and play these, and he plays them well and talks at the same time. And I'm like, how are you doing that? Because I'm not great at them to begin with. And then when I try to talk, oh, it's you died on the screen instantly so much. So I can't stream those, but I think I could. I think I could do some slower games, maybe. Expedition I might be able to do. Vec is a new subscriber. Thank you so much. Love the Acolyte videos. Thank you so much. I had fun. I had fun making those, so I appreciate it. Well, I had fun making the first one. The other ones got depressing toward the end, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're hanging out. Kevin read Anal Farm this year. Great book. Oh, I didn't know there was a new movie. Yeah, that's one of those like just famous. No, it's one of those big cultural ones, pop culture. That's like 1984 or Atlas Shrugged or something. I also want to read. What's the Margaret Atwood one? Handmaid's Tale. It just, even the ones that I'm probably not going to agree with, I just think that there's some like big cultural impact classic books. They're on my list. Like you just want to, you want to read those and just understand why they were so culturally impactful. Part of this complete breakfast wants to write a novel. Doesn't know where to start, keeps coming with ideas, but can never get momentum long enough to make meaningful progress. Any advice on that? I would always make an outline. Outlines help me with scripts. And I mean, it's not the same thing as a novel, but I do the same thing sometimes where I have ideas for videos. I have this like whole list. Oh, I can make videos about all these things. And then when I really start to outline it, that's when I realize, oh, I don't actually have much of an idea for that. Or this one just expands into so much video that I actually have to trim it a little bit so it's not super long or whatever. That would be my biggest advice is get your outline together, chase down these ideas, organize it in that outline style, and you'll realize, oh, I have enough here that I want to go on this. I want to build this out. And then once you have that outline, that'll help you stay motivated, because you already have this start to finish idea that you now need to flesh out instead of just like starting writing stuff and I'll start writing a story or whatever. I also recommend, I know that people aren't happy with him because of his recent book, but Brandon Sanderson does a lot of they're all online, they're all for free videos about writing, and his talks on writing are very informative. He digs into the philosophy of writing, the structure of writing, what makes it good, what makes it bad, whatever. And I mean, in light of the fact that his recent book is not doing great, he needs an editor, but they're very, very informative. If you listen to those, they're very, very good. Bruno popping in, some kind words. Started watching myself a couple days ago. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Sherlock's hard. Sherlock's hard to get because it's hard to get that cold calculating thing without going too far and without writing these weird plot contrivances. And it's very difficult. Beats that her husband and she and her husband rather have been reading Narnia to their baby, even though he's an atheist, and we both can see the clear Christian themes, both really enjoying it because it's just a great story. Yeah, I love that. I love to hear that. And I think that Narnia, that's why it's so famous, and it stands the test of time because it is a really great story. And you can see the allegory. And just because you can see the allegory easily doesn't make it a bad allegory or something. But I think that's why it holds up so well, because Lewis knew how to write and write well. And then his worldview came through into it, obviously, as it will. But that's Lord of the Rings, I think, holds up for the same reason, all that. Gonna lurk. Stuck at the Paintress in Act 2. Oh, I'm not there yet. I was at the Paintress, but obviously wasn't wasn't going to never supposed to do damage, and then I'm inside the monument now. Keep climbing it. Hopefully I'll get to the top soon. I'm gonna play tonight. When this stream is over, I'm gonna text a buddy of mine. He's gonna replace his alternator, so that's the first thing to do is see if he's still doing that. Go try to help him out, get that alternator changed out. Hopefully it's not too much work, and then maybe come back and change my own tensioner. My tensioner belt broke off my car the other day. Fortunately, we have an extra one right now, just sitting in our driveway, in-laws' cars, because it just broke off. Like, I found the piece of it under the car. It's crazy. I got to fix a few things, keep that thing going, because I am not, I'm not buying a car right now. I don't know what's going on with the car market, but no, thank you. Not doing that. I'm gonna nurse that car along forever. There it is. Yeah, so much more eloquent than I recited it as, but I mean, Epictetus has a lot of really great quotes. That one is the one that just, it stands out to me. I mean, I honestly want to memorize that whole thing, but it's excellent. I like that one a lot. That's true. No, maybe I'll stream more. Everybody's being nice about it. I'm gonna try it out. My biggest problem is I don't want my kids on camera, and they just be running through here. Especially my youngest daughter. She wanted to hang out in here during the stream and just sit in bed with her mom, and she's like, I'll just sit here, I'll be quiet. And I'm like, nah, because I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna lean over slowly and try to mug.
She really wants to.
Right over there. There we go. Yeah. Oh yeah. She loves being on camera. Loves it. No, honey. The internet's a weird place. Oh, I haven't read the Little Red Hen. Huh. I want to read that one. You logged that. Yeah, there we go. I wasn't down this far yet, but yeah, Peregrine's absolutely right. I think the outline is the way to go. That's what I do. I still do it the way that I was taught in elementary school. Just outline, couple of points under each section. Beginning says what you're going to talk about, supporting points, the conclusion wraps it all up. Like, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. Honestly, that is why I'm so glad that this gentleman right here is editing my videos. There he is. And that intro was hilarious and amazing. And but that's why I'm glad that he's doing the videos, because he's getting them to be a little more interesting. Because with my videos, because I write old school essay style, and my stuff builds through the video, right? So I need a person to watch for a while as I build the case of what I'm going to talk about. But I need the beginning to be a little visually interesting, some noise, some sounds, whatever, to get people in, and then they can hear my argument. And then I feel like it makes sense toward the end. It builds. But yeah, I do it old school like that. Just same way I was writing essays in the 4th grade. I still do the same thing, and I think it works. Yeah, he's got some. I think he had a stream. He talked about it in a stream one time. He does have good tips. I mean, he's a successful. That's how he got famous to begin with. He was a published writer, and I think a lot of people don't know that. They watch his videos, and I mean, now he just is doing the streams, and he's making the short videos, and just talking about movies and stuff. And it's just, they're kind of just straight up reviews, but he's got a background in actual writing. So when I outline the videos, step one, and I've actually been working to refine this, because what I want to do is actually have a list of questions that I myself need to answer before I start writing the video. And then that way it helps me stay focused on what it is that I'm going to be writing about. And I can always come back to, like, what's a 1-sentence thesis? What's the elevator pitch? Things like that. What are the main ideas that I want to convey in this video? Questions like that I need to answer for myself. And if I can't write a few sentences out, that probably means I don't have enough to go on. And that's been helpful to try to, I'll try to explain to my wife. This has been the process in the past where she'll say, well, what's the point of the video? In a few sentences. And if it's taking me too long to explain, or it's very vague or whatever, she's like, I don't think you have a point right now. Like, you don't really have a cohesive idea you need to sharpen, or just don't make that video. So that's usually the first step is, do I even have something to talk about here? Or is it just going to be me fumbling around for 20 minutes with no, I'm just kind of meandering around. And then I do it old school style, where I'll write the intro, try to get a good hook, good joke, whatever, and then a summary of what we're going to talk about. Why are you watching me? Why is this important at all? And then I build it in a building case style of, here's some evidence, here's why it's important, here's some more evidence, here's why it's important, here's how they tie together, this is what it means to my overall point. And that's how I do. And I literally will do, I use Notion to build all of my stuff, because then it's either on my iPad or it's on my phone or whatever, so it's online all the time. And I don't do fancy Notions. Like, I know people make them like beautiful and aesthetic or whatever. Like, the only tags I use are header tags, and it's just, I have a couple of headers because those are the sections that I want, and then underneath of them I'll just like word vomit an idea, or I will do it bullet point style or whatever. But that's how I build them. Just the same way that you were taught to do essays in grade school, same exact way. And then slowly I build these points out. I don't always do it linearly either. Like, I don't always just write front to back. Sometimes I'm really excited about the middle point and I write that out, really, really flesh it out, but the beginning point isn't. And every now and then I need to rearrange them or whatever. And that all comes through as I pass. And then usually the first pass, I'm usually just getting the information out. Like, what is my argument? What do I want to say? And then I go through and I refine it to make it more interesting, add some jokes, more creative ways of saying something, not just using the same turn of phrase that everybody else is using, whatever. Add an extra example and that might be interesting or funny or whatever, and then kind of zhuzh it up a little bit and massage it. But that's the process. And then send it over to the editor, and then he polishes it, makes it look beautiful, adds a few extra clips in, and adds in some like the new stuff with the it's just like the graphical stuff. Like, when I'm talking about a quote, and he'll have the paper unravel, and then like it's highlighted and stuff, like just things like that. They just look great. They emphasize the point really well. So that's really loving that. Joseph, for $2, thank you, sir. Want to know my take on stories being applicable versus allegorical? That's a good question. I think I would prefer the allegorical, because to me, I think I can apply that. I can apply the allegory myself. I think if it's a good allegory, it is applicable, is what I would say. And the other thing is, oops, coffee overcooked. Applicable can be it's easy for applicable to get into preaching, because you're trying to get like this one point across, whereas allegorical, I think, is better because it makes you, the reader or the viewer, think. And when you feel like the ideas are coming from yourself, they mean more and they stick more, and you believe them more than when they're just told to you. And that's another reason, like a lot of like the woke storytelling, whatever, it just comes across as very preachy, and it doesn't feel like you yourself came up with that idea. And so your brain rejects it out of hand. So yeah, I think allegorical is the way to go every time, unless you're writing a self-help book. Yeah, this is Kevin's got good advice here, right? You just have to get used to the act of writing. People start an outline, they never finish making their project. And I know Kevin and I have talked on email where, he said he gets busy, he doesn't write sometimes, and like that's the hardest part, is just being consistent with writing, being in the habit of writing, and then it becomes to feel natural. And that is, I think that's a huge piece of advice, is just be writing a couple hundred words a day, even if it's crap. You don't have to keep it. It's fine. Just write it, and it's not good. Take breaks to write find little story prompts online, and just write little short stories or little one-page some things, little interludes that you don't put in the book, like Sanderson does, but you don't, because you don't always need to be there. It's yeah, it's the Phobos is right. You got to write every day. Just it is a habit, and he is correct. I have done this where I don't write for days at a time, scripts, and then I'm like, all right, I gotta get into it, and I start writing for like 10 minutes, and then an hour later something comes up, and I'm like, I can't stop writing. I'm in it. I'm in the flow now. I got the ideas coming. It's just like it's almost like exercise in that way. Like you hate it, and then once you get going, you just the momentum just kind of carries you. Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, you just get going. Sova said that I'm the only streamer that his son and he are regular to watch. Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad you both like it. I'm glad I can appeal to all ages, because I do old people stuff. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I tell you what, I can tell that he likes the channel, and I can tell he enjoys what he does. I don't know if you guys saw that intro. Like, you can just tell he's having fun, and I think that is what makes we're working well together, because it's not just like just punching in or whatever. Like, it's good stuff. I can tell he likes it. I can tell he likes the subject matter. Oh, I'm so happy. So happy. I don't know if he wants me putting his. I mean, I want to promote him. I don't want him working for other people, because I want his time free for when I need videos. But I also want this dude to get more work, because he does great work. He's easy to work with too. Like I was saying in the beginning of the chat, it was so funny. He sent me that email. Like, I made this intro. It went on too long. I think I might have done too much. I watched it. It was hilarious. Like, I'm like, no, I am using that. That is fantastic. Oh. Yeah, maybe I should do that. I should get more explosions. I also did realize I wasn't sure if the me talking to myself thing was going to work, but I'm going to be using that more often. It's going to be great. I got to set that. I got to get different lighting if I'm going to make that work, though. One thing I do have to admit, though, I haven't watched that proof of concept video for his spy thriller. Like, I know he did like a 40-minute video thing. It's in my to watch later queue. Graveyard. I feel bad. I should watch it. I just haven't. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I tuck all those in. I've got an alliteration spree in the We Can Fix Them video. That's good. That was fun. That was fun coming up with. I like coming up with those a lot. Ooh. Now I want to go. I want to travel to Oregon. I should be drinking out of my silver mug. Whenever my plaque shows up, I bought a stainless silver, like a polished silver mug that I'm going to drink out of on that video. I love goofy mugs. They're so much fun. I didn't serve in the military, but I am in Southern Illinois, and there's a lot of military folks around here, and all my family was. I just didn't go in. So I know all the terminology and the lifestyle. I just I never did. I was an Air Force brat. I never did, though. My brother did. Both my parents were. My folks divorced when I was young, but my mom married a guy that was. I mean, like, everybody. A lot of my neighbors are. Like, there's so many military people around here. Oh, 100%. Problem is, now, see, I'm too bourgeois, because I pay people to mow the grass. They don't do a great job, but it gets cut, and I don't do it. I don't sweat. But I do stand in my open garage and watch it rain. I do like a good crossword puzzle. Oh yeah, good old people stuff. Yeah, good old math puzzles. I did not know that. Quartering shares an editor with PewDiePie. I know the quartering needs an editor. Oh my god, that dude's putting out 4 videos a day. That stuff is crazy. Yeah, I like doing it. I just I think I got to focus on the writing, and I want the editor to focus on the editing. And that's, I mean, he's a professional, so he's got, not only he can do the graphics and all the, you know, cut the face out and put it on, and like his sound stuff. And I mean, the first video he had the Rick and Morty clip, but I guess he's got access to something where he was able to make it sound like Rick was saying something different. I don't know how to do that. Like, yeah, it's nice. I think you got to focus on your strengths, and yeah, I'm gonna focus on the writing. It frees me up. It's nice. Chap said, trying to watch varied accounts on media, so get a general idea of opinions from both sides. Birdman and Drinker, I see his polar opposites, and Greg is unbiased. Well, that's very nice of you to say. I appreciate that. I try to stick in the middle. I know I'm a little bit more a little conservative, but I try to being libertarian helps keep me a little balanced, or at least not, I guess, balanced between those two, but just as a third, just as a third one. I have watched some of the Birdman stuff, and well, I guess it's not. I mean, I'm not the target audience. He's got an audience for it, though. It's yeah. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think my oldest son is probably going to go in because
he wants to be a pilot, but he's too big.
Yeah, that's true. He wants to be a pilot. There's no chance. He's way too tall. He can't go in the Navy either. But I know a lot of people, they enjoy the structure of it, and I get that. I think that's, you know, that was interestingly, my stepbrother was in the Army, and I can't remember what the deal was, but he was with a unit. They got deployed. He didn't. I don't remember if he was injured or what, but he didn't have anything to do. And so he just like showed up at PT in the morning, had a few things to do. He basically got out because he didn't have anything to do. And that's what he liked, was there was like a structure to the days. You know, you did PT in the morning, there was things to do in the afternoon, you got deployed, you went where you were supposed to go. And like, I can see like the almost the comfort in that, of the military is structured and you always know what you ought to be doing. And so you don't got to worry about it, you know? And that's one of the things that I try to everybody tells you want to be like an entrepreneur, you should own your own business, whatever. And it's like, I don't know. I kind of like my day job, that I show up and I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I appreciate that aspect of it. Like, the potential to make more on YouTube is there because I own the whole thing. And like, yeah, it was like, oh, your company exploits you, they take all your money. And it's like, well, they make more than me. Yeah. But they handle the building, they handle the janitors, they handle all the other departments. I know what I'm supposed to do when I show up, and I like it. And then I leave. And then that's it. And I don't think about it till I come back. I'm not thinking about work till Monday. And when I come in, I know what I should do. I got a list of stuff, and I'll work it, and that'll be that. And there's a real convenience there that I like a lot. And to me, I think it's worth it. Like, I'm not jealous that people above me make more because they got to do crap. Like, I don't want my boss's job. He's got to do too many things, and he might make more, but I don't want to do the things that he's doing. Right. So it's just like the lettuces. Like, I don't want that job. I don't want the money because I don't want to do what he's doing. So I think that I get it. I get the appeal of the military for that reason. Dark Gamer Zero, love the videos. Thank you very much for the kind words. Hope you cover more good things currently running in the pop culture industry, but I'll use some more positivity in life. I agree. This next video, I guess, is kind of negative because it's somewhat about Ironheart, but it's also it's more about like how we got to a place where a character like Ironheart even got greenlit and written, and like how, not even that we've become like amoral. It's the point of the video is not like the morality degraded. It's the definitions of morality and what a hero or an anti-hero or a gray hero or moral ambiguity, like what those things mean, have all faded and mixed together. And so you just have a character like Ironheart is, I to be honest, I would love to tell you that she's like it's like a villain origin story or whatever. It's not. I don't even think it's that. I think it's giving it too much credit. It's the show is so boring because of how little happens. She just, I mean, she's a thief, so like she steals to justify herself or whatever, but I can't even tell you that she's that bad. The show tries to portray her as a hero, but that video is a little negative because it's about just how do we get to the point where this show was made and they said, look, this is like a protagonist character, and they're not even an antagonist. She's just there. She's just a regular run of the mill selfish person. Like, that's not interesting. It's not noteworthy, good or bad in any way. And I think that's the most damning thing about the show. But the one after that, though, that'll be the We Can Fix Them. I'm excited about that one. I had to drop a few because I got behind and that video ran. I wanted to give each idea enough time, but that one's about like taking characters that have been unpopular, and I got the members to get ideas and like how we could fix them and whatever. And then I agree with you though. I gotta get down to writing it, but I want to make a video about Puss in Boots 2. That movie is fantastic, and like why it's so good. Because making the K-pop Demon Hunters video was so much fun. It was great. It's easy to make jokes about so it's easy to be funny when you're talking about a bad show. Those are the ones that are super easy to write because the jokes just make themselves, because you're just riffing. Like, who cares, right? The K-pop Demon Hunters one was fun because it was positive, and I like talking about things that are good, but it's more difficult because you do have to work a little harder to justify why it's good, why, the color thing, the music thing, like you really have to dig into the details and explain fully, like, why is this so good? Why does this work so well? Whereas the bad stuff, it's much easier to just entertain, be funny, have fun, that sort of thing. But I agree with you. You got to keep the balance. It's important. Okay. Got Ron Jeremy fan here. Oh, man. Oh.
It's the folks on that. The boy might be okay in the Air Force. He might take it.
Yeah? Even if he's tall?
He listed like some height maximums.
He might be able to do it. I haven't seen the God's Not Dead movies. I don't know. Have you seen those? God's Not Dead? 1 or 2? No, I haven't seen them. What's weird is I tend not to watch, like, I haven't watched The Chosen either, and I've heard it's really good. That one I've heard a lot of positive things about. I don't tend to find that I watch a lot of like Christian media, because I don't know. I just never find them super interesting. I don't find them very impactful usually. I don't find them very entertaining usually. And I don't know. I just never really I don't even find myself being like inspired. I don't hate them. I don't like a lot of them. I don't think are bad or anything. I don't know. Don't love them. So. Oh my goodness. She's so mad today. My daughter, the youngest daughter out there is, yeah. My 9-year-old and 5-year-old, like they hate each other, but they stay on top of each other. I don't get it. I'm in the Midwest. I got a nice size house here. Lots of places for them to go. They could be apart, but they refuse. They sit next to each other, sit on top of each other, and then yell at one another. I don't understand. It's love, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, and Joseph's right. Like K-pop is really good. It applies to so many people. And I get it. Yeah, Animal Farm's an allegory about communism and why it doesn't work. I think this is one. This is why I think so many X-Men movies don't work, because too many writers get the job, and either they are homosexual or that's like what stands out to them because their friends are or something, and they're like, I'm gonna write a X-Men movie. And I'm going to really emphasize the fact that this is about, being in the closet or coming out or whatever. Like, it's really going to be like a gay allegory kind of thing. And it's like what you're missing is that the X-Men is not about civil rights. It's not about being gay. It's not about being a nerd. Like, it's about all of those things and none of those things. And that's why the 90s X-Men and the X-Men comics worked really, really, really well, because they were never really specifically about they were about being different and feeling different, but also your differences can make you special. And either you can use them for good or you can be one of Magneto's people, and you can use them for evil. So whether you were a super nerd when comics were nerdy and it wasn't mainstream, or you are you've experienced racism, or whether you are like the only gay kid in Nebraska and there's none, you're like the only one that you know of, whatever situation you're in, you feel like an outsider, the X-Men speaks to you. It can. It's an excellent, and they're fun stories, and there's a power fantasy element and all of that. Like, that's why it's so incredible. And then you see these movies where, what was the one where, God, I had that stupid line where the parents were all dumb and they're like, have you tried not being a mutant? Or like they try to like pray away the mutant or whatever. It's like, guys, you condensed it down to this one thing, and that's why your movie is not great, because you're just trying so hard for it to be about your thing and not the overarching idea that, like, yes, this could apply to a lot of people. A lot of people can identify with feeling like an outsider. That's why the X-Men works. Oy. Sorry to hear that. I know some people thrive in it. Some people, they really hate it. It sucks. I know a lot of people. I mean, the rigidity of it, I'm sure, can cause problems. It does suck to hear, though. A degree of success that would make me quit my day job. It would have to be. So it would have to be like more than double. I would have to consistently be making more than double what I get paid in my day job, because the problem with YouTube is that it's all over the place. And then, like, right now, like, I'm sick. I haven't made a video in 2 weeks, and that's just that's money that I'm not going to make. And if this was like my job, that would be devastating. That would be hard to do. And then, like, in January, the ads aren't worth, like, right now, I think the ads are paying about, I'm getting like $6 per 1,000 views or something, roughly, on a non-sponsored video. When I do the sponsors, I delete the ads for several minutes around the sponsorship, because I feel like if you got to listen to me talk in the video, I'm going to delete the YouTube ads, right? So I those pay differently, but then the normal ones, no sponsor, whatever, I just like let YouTube do their ad thing. They pay about $6 per 1,000, but like in November, December, that's going to go up because advertisers are fighting over those spots for Christmas and everything. So they're more profitable. But then in January, February, they all blew their budgets, and so the ads don't pay as much. So the money is all over the place. So you really have to be consistently making a ton, so that when it does trough, you're still above what you were making at your day job. And it's so it takes a lot. It takes a whole lot. And sometimes you just like you hit a patch where either you're tired and your videos just aren't great, you're not performing well, or the subject matter, like the audience is just kind of bored of the subject matter. Who knows what? But it's very unpredictable. So yeah, there's a point that I could get to, but I would need to be making crazy amount of money. I am going to do some book reviews, and now that the editor said he had ideas about how to do book reviews and like how to make them visually interesting and everything, so I'm going to be doing more of those. We're going to talk about the Rothfuss thing. Actually, he said he's reading Name of the Wind, and then he's going to read Wise Man's Fear. So I need to polish up that script anyway, and then I'll send it to him when he's finished with those books, so I don't spoil him. But I do want to do some book reviews, talk about those. But again, I think that I'll have to try to bundle them, because that, to me, that's what makes a video work the best, is when I can bundle an idea or several ideas together, or several subjects, and like have a point or something. It's it's I don't like to crap on day jobs. I'm not one of those everybody needs to be an entrepreneur people, because there's highs and lows to it for sure, and there's a benefit to having a job, and you just go on in there, and you go on there, you got something to do. It's great. Yeah, I fully agree with Sleeve here. Puss in Boots 2 is excellent. I want to get on that one. And then the Brutalist is one that I also want to make a video about, because I was shocked at how much I loved that movie. And it was like 3.5 hour long, Oscar contender, Adrian Brody escaping the Holocaust again, like the pianist. Like, I thought, oh God, this is gonna be terrible. And I watched it, and I was just into it. And it was like, it's kind of like the old books we were talking about earlier. Like, I just kept thinking about it for some reason. Like I could not stop. I was at work just thinking about this movie and like, how would I talk about this movie? What were the themes? Like, I don't know. It was just in my brain. It was really, really good. So I'll definitely talk about that one. It might. I watched a lot of Darkwing as a kid. I never put it together. That's maybe why I do alliteration. I don't know. I don't think I'm ever going to do another pun video. That last one bombed so bad. I did. Like, I don't even think it gets recommended to anybody. I did a whole video on like why Zootopia works and Elemental didn't, and I tried to fit as many. I got like 212 puns or whatever into it. It was so ridiculous. It was the stupidest script ever, but it was fun. It was fun to make. I always told myself that I was going to do an entire video in iambic pentameter. And then one video a few months ago, I tried it and I was able to get 6 lines written. And it took me like an hour to write 6 lines. I'm like, nope, I can't do a whole video of this. This is really hard. Who was talking about? Oh yeah, he was saying Gaza did the room of Christian media. I don't know if you guys have seen War of the Worlds, the Ice Cube War of the Worlds that's on Amazon. That is the new The Room. It's so bad it's good. It is hilariously terrible. Ice Cube is completely phoning in his acting. He's watching people die and his reactions are hilarious. Like he'll see a video of somebody getting bombed by aliens and he'll just go, "Oh, man." It's horrible and you'll be laughing out loud. It's so bad. That is that's going to be a new one. People are going to refer to that in the way that they do. Oh, hey, Mark. Like they're going to do that crap, but they're going to do it where you'll have people looking at their screen going, "Oh," like he does. "Oh no, you got to get out of there!" Like people are being chased by aliens, and he's just screaming in his computer, "You got to go! You got to go!" Just like that. Like, oh, so horrible. Oh. Hey, that is nice. No tax on super chats. I didn't vote for Trump, but still appreciate that. That was nice. And yeah, that's the other thing too, is that like with YouTube, it's hard to make a career out of it's hard to make a career out of YouTube stuff because just you never know. You never know because you are I say I own it, like I get all the profits and everything from the work, but I don't. Like I really at any point YouTube could, who knows, YouTube could tomorrow they could be like, "Oh, we discovered YouTube was actually trafficking people and they're illegally doing whatever." Like it was all a front for drug, who knows, whole site could go down. So yeah, it is it's good to remember, don't trust them. They change algorithms, they change ad type stuff all the time. What would be ad appropriate, what would not be, who knows. I'm gonna bring him back. I'm doing I got some stuff for Cash App later this month, and they wanted to promote like their cards for teenagers. So I'm gonna bring him back for the second one. No, I haven't listened to this one yet. Josh from Xbox. I'm interested in the topic though, because I'm not happy with modern fantasy. And Mrs. Owen too, she reads way more than me. She reads a lot of fantasy. And I mean, we were talking, she was saying, so like a month or two ago, but she said, in 2024, she read like, I don't know, 40 books, something. And what's that? Yeah, last year, didn't you? You read a bunch last year between listening and reading, and like it was a lot. And she said 1 or 2 she could remember that actually like they were like interesting enough to stand out in her mind. Like most of them were just, yep, I read it. It was a book. Like that's fine. And she reads a lot of fantasy. And most of it, well, first of all, so much of it is just getting smutty because everybody thinks that's what's going to sell. And then a lot of it is just real fluffy. Like it's not, it's almost it would be incorrect to almost like call it bad. A lot of it, I think you would agree, like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. It was just a book, and you read it and you're like, all right, well, that was cool. Like I was entertained. It was fine, but whatever. I think very few of them she has said are really stuck out. Actually, the ones I can tell when it's good because she'll bring it up a lot. And what are the 9th books? Hero the 9th and Nona the 9th. Harrow the 9th. What's the author? Gideon the Ninth. Who's the author on that one? They're all the same. It's something the Ninth, right? And she's just been telling me like the language is very interesting. The characters, you can. Some of it's very interesting. She was saying that you can tell the characters apart just by how they talk. Like it's really good characterization because the characters speak differently. And that is something that I know Echo has brought up on the stream, where a lot of he's been noticing it with men, where a lot of male characters are all pretty much the same. They're all just kind of sort of jockey dude bro, very similar characters. They all speak the same, say the same things. But she was saying these books are really great because the language, each character, you can really tell who's speaking. Even if it doesn't say who's speaking, you can tell. It's just really good characterization. And some of the words, some of the language, like she just was really into it and actually read it very slowly because some of the words she'd never heard before. She's like, I gotta look some of these words up. And then I don't know, so like you can just tell you're into a good book because you won't get through it quickly because you just really are digesting it. And that's one of the only ones I can think of that she's really like been talking about. The rest of them are just kind of, they're all right, they're okay. And that's a lot of modern stuff. It's just okay. Dan, I think there's too much focus on YouTube as a career rather than just something fun to do. A little bit I do. I think that I'm so sorry. So it's it's a weird balance because if you take it too much as like a career, then it causes you to be you run a real risk of being kind of creatively bankrupt, and you get like too safe and you don't want to offend anybody and you only want to talk about trending topics and whatever, and you're not really willing to make a video that is just not going to be great, but you just something you want to talk about, whatever. Like those things can creep in because you get too focused on the numbers. But then at the same time, you have to, like, if you're going to do something consistently, you got to make money. Otherwise, if it's as a hobby, it's fine, but it's going to be difficult. It's going to be more, like, I know this is impossible, but it's going to be more difficult to make a video that is really good looking and polished and you put a lot of time into it if it's just sort of a side hobby. But then at the same time, I like, for the viewers, I get that there is a charm to that it's not as polished or it's not as well thought out or it's just kind of off the cuff. And like there is a certain appeal to that because it's just somebody sharing what they're interested in, right? It's fine. And then sometimes those videos, they tend to ramble too much or they can be too long or they kind of weave or there isn't like a whatever. But like there is something about just hearing somebody share what they like, and it is fun. And you get more like goofy skits and things like that. People just, having a blast, whatever. I think that if you look at like a lot of these surveys of like young people, a lot of them want to be influencers. Like that's like the number one career goal right now. And I wouldn't say that it's too much of a focus as a career rather than something fun, but I think that it is. I don't think enough people talk about it. I guess in a weird way, enough people don't talk about it as a career. They almost think like you can just turn it on and play some games and you'll be PewDiePie, you'll be rich, you'll be Ninja, whatever, right? There is a bunch of work, and I think that it's sort of like we were talking about with the allegories and stuff. If you do it, the sweet spot is putting in enough effort to where it looks effortless and it looks like you're just having a good time and it didn't look like you tried too hard. Like that's where you're wanting to get at. Just like being cool, right? You don't want to try to be cool, but you want to be cool, but you can't look like you're trying to be cool. I think that's the professionalism side of YouTube. Yeah, it can be. I think that Pandemonium said YouTube seems soul draining for content creators like Cultural California. You can check them eating their leave. It's what it is it forces you. If you can't set your own boundaries with yourself, and this is the hardest part about it, because like at work, if I work hard, I'll probably get noticed and I might get like a little bonus at the end, or if there were layoffs, I probably won't get laid off because I'm working hard or whatever. But like there's not a direct corollary to I work super hard and I see a bunch of reward. And with YouTube, it is like the more videos you put out, the more you're going to grow, the more you're going to make, whatever. And it's what I find to be the most difficult part is to not fall into that of like, I must be making videos at all time, because what you don't realize is then they'll start to suck because you're just like cranking them out, you're forcing them out too hard, and or you make yourself sick or whatever. But it's difficult to set your own boundaries and not compare yourself to other people either, or like get jealous somebody's growing more or something, and it causes you to get in that in your head and the spiral and everything. And when I started doing this, my wife, she had, I don't remember where she saw it, but she was like, if you're going to do it, just commit to it for 3 years, right? Like, don't give up after 6 months or whatever. Like, just try it out for 3 years and then reassess it 3 years. And on that, I mean, it's 3 years and 2 months hit 100,000. Like, so it took 6 months to hit 1,000 subscribers. And there's ebbs and flows and that kind of thing. So it's like you got to have a marathon mentality and not be sprinting every day, or you'll burn yourself out. And I have done that. And then with the stupid thing is I'll crank a bunch of videos out, and then I won't make a video for like 3 weeks because I'm like, well, tired. Okay, I don't have anything written, nothing. So then that's not great. You're not consistent. Yeah, you got to have a lot of discipline, more than I have, but I'm getting there. Yeah, it's folks want to know about Oppenheimer. Surprised at how much he liked it, like the Brutalist. Like I was the Brutalist. Like I completely agree. I thought Oppenheimer again. I thought, oh god, this is going to be this stupid, self-indulgent. There's a lot of black and white. That's usually a bad sign. It was excellent. My only complaint is this is the nudity thing where Florence Pugh's boobs were out all the time, and I'm like, ugh. Now, like I want to watch it with my kids, but I don't want to show them that. But I don't know, like. It's just, I thought that was goofy. It was just kind of unnecessary. But no, I agree with you that I was the same way. I watched it and I thought, wow, I want to watch that 3-hour movie again. I want to watch it again right now. I thought it was fantastic. Hello, Mrs. Mac. Hope work is going good. I hope I don't sound terrible in your ear because I'm all scratchy. Oh, yeah. Livewire. It was you. Yeah, they introduced like this online hacker guy, and you're like, oh, I think I know who that is, and then shocking, it's the person that you know. That it was, oh god, it was so bad. Oh, so bad. Yeah, it's like like old internet. Like there is something. I mean, like Vine, there was a lot of crap. There was a lot of just fun, very earnest, very real people just goofing around. I remember like Atom Films when I was young, Homestar Runner. Yeah, early internet was just a lot of people just goofing around because there was no money. There's no money involved, and you were like using freaking Microsoft Clipchamp or whatever the hell was the editing software at the time. Like there was no editing software. It was just yeah, it was there was also garbage like that. So that's the thing. Like there's a lot of garbage. Like, and that again, it's always like, oh, what video could I make? But I know like subscribing services, people crap on subscribing services right now, but they're similar to the early internet in the same way, where there's a lot of crap, there's a lot of dumb stuff, and then you get a K-pop Demon Hunters because there's the environment to just throw a bunch of stuff up. Some of it's good, some of it's Tiger King, and we're all talking about it, and it's just crazy, and you can't stop watching it. And then some of it is just hot trash that is it's gone tomorrow, whatever. But with everything, you have to have a lot of it for the good stuff to rise up. You can try to pre-screen it and maybe curate it, and that might be good. But I think early internet was just what was on MySpace was on there. What was on Tumblr, it just was on there, and there was a bunch of crap, and then there was also some good stuff, and good stuff got word of mouth, and that's how you got like early comic strips. Like I used to read the Control-Delete comic strip. The Onion got big this way, or the Oatmeal rather was a comic strip that got big this way, or Penny Arcade was the same way. Like all these old comic strips that got big. It was just, there were a lot of shitty comic strips too, terrible internet comics, and then there were some that were just amazing. And that's the pool of crap that you have to have the really good ones. Yeah, no, Sean's absolutely right. You can't go all in on the just YouTube or whatever for the career. I'm gonna be open to talk about one of my hobbies in the future. Would love to try and get into something interesting. Yeah, like which one? So the thing is, YouTube is weirdly. I think well, I can't remember what video I was talking about, like just like learning stuff, just doing stuff, right? Like I tried coding for a while. That was a hobby. I never did it professionally. Tried learning a language for a while as a hobby. Um, the I need to make the electromagnet thing. I have that. I need to actually do what I want to do with it, and hopefully that does something. That I hope to make money with, but I don't know if the math's going to work. But no, I've had a bunch of hobbies. Video games is the longest standing one, but then YouTube started as just like a hobby, and it was like a learning. Like I wonder how video editing works. I wonder how making YouTube videos works. Whatever. Um, and I made a few, and I realized I just really enjoyed it. I enjoyed finding the weird little clips to put in. I enjoyed making writing and getting my ideas out, whatever. And then after a few months, started to pick up some traction, and I thought, oh, this might be like maybe this is a thing. I could actually do this, right? Um, but other than that, it's video games. I think video games is the biggest hobby that I have that I don't, and puzzles and learning new things. Legos right now too. Got one back. I gotta finish the rest of that X-wing that goes with that TIE fighter and then hang them beneath my bottom shelves. I'm excited about that. Buddy of mine was saying that the Fat Electrician, which is a channel he likes, my daughter likes to watch it now. Apparently, he'll just show stuff on camera just so he can write it off. I guess I'm doing that with my shelves. I'll just put stuff on the shelf for one video. I'm like, oh, that was part of the background. That's a write off. That's all I got to do. Yeah, so I'll have to watch this, Josh, from Xbox. Hmm. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like I have, I think I think just like the actual act of making the videos, that is the hobby that has stuck with me the most over the last 3 years. The other ones, yeah, I picked them up, let them go, whatever. Oh, I tried gardening at one time. I want to get back to that, but I ain't got the time for that. Um, but yeah, I think making these videos, this is the hobby that has stuck. And games forever. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you hanging out. Thank you so much. Other classics. So I said I want to read Kafka because people reference that all the time. So I do want to read that. I want to read some of the romance, like Jane Eyre, Sense and Sensibility, some of the classics that my wife was reading, Wuthering Heights, because of the movie coming next year. So I think that'd be kind of interesting to just know what's going on because of that. I want to read more. I do want to read some of those original horror books because my daughter read some of them for a college class and was telling me that like with the original Frankenstein, apparently originally he did not have the brain of a murderer or something like that. I guess that's not, or there's some part of the common perception of Frankenstein that was not in Mary Shelley's book. And then over time, those things sort of got added. So I'm interested in go back and read some of those original type things to get a feel for like what was the original Dracula about? How is that different from what we know of Dracula today? It's like original horror stories is something that I'd love to get into. And what's another one? I think I'm gonna read more Cormac McCarthy and figure out why the heck I like No Country for Old Men so much. I'm gonna read Blood Meridian and see about that one. Oh, and Out of the Silent Planet. Because I have not read any other C.S. Lewis other than some of the Narnia. I haven't finished all the Narnia books, so I do want to read his sci-fi stuff, Out of the Silent Planet. And I think that's a whole trilogy. I'm gonna read that real bad and see if it's very similar to Narnia in like the imagery and the like. Is it like a sci-fi story, or is it a sci-fi Christian story, or is it a sci-fi story with a little bit of those themes coming through? I've heard a lot of good things about it, so I want to get into that. Never heard of Musashi. Oh, that was another one that I wanted to. there was an author that I wanted to read. So again, it's like I research videos. Some of them never ever come to pass, but everybody's been talking about, oh, men don't read. Men aren't reading fiction. They're not men reading crisis, all this kind of stuff. And I've talked about that in the past. And I saw a video of somebody was saying, well, men are reading like genre fiction, like sci-fi and fantasy and stuff, but they're not reading contemporary fiction, sort of like or they're reading mysteries, they're reading thriller, things like that, but they're just not reading just contemporary, just non-genre fiction. And I would actually I think I would put McCarthy in that, where it doesn't really fit in a genre. It is a fictional story and it's just about life or whatever. And people recommended Kazuo Ishiguro, and apparently a lot of folks are apparently that sort of fits that idea, and they're apparently excellent. And so I want to try that out. But no, I've never heard of Musashi. This Phobos is helping out. Got a whole military career path getting researched over here.
I know. I'm excited.
That's good.
Good information.
It is good. He needs something to do. I haven't seen her thing on Why You Can't Make Another Lord of the Rings. I do like her breakdowns of stuff. There is actually there's a new one that, hang on, I gotta look this up, because this person just hit 1,000 subscribers and I didn't even realize. The channel was small. Allison Reads Books is a newer channel, just a couple months old, already hit 1,000. Interesting delivery, interesting points. I like her videos a lot. And yeah, I get this when Kevin's saying, like, people look at, content creation as career because you're in control, and standard careers are not great at the moment. And I do understand that portion of it, that people don't feel like companies have loyalty, or they feel like the career ladder system is kind of broken. It's Phobos is right. I mean, like, YouTube is ultimately in control, but there are things you control about what you make, but until we're all privately wealthy, that'll be the time. Well, I've got FU money beholden to somebody. But I think the biggest issue right now, not so much, it's not affecting me yet, because like I said, I work in the industrial industry where everything's pretty physical, and so there's not a lot of AI that you can really do, because the machinery just still it's still physically there. You still have to do it. But I know a lot of people, AI is wrecking so many industries, and the problem is that AI is not wrecking it. It's upper management's feelings about what AI can do that's wrecking industries, and they think that it's like way more than it really is. And it's got uses. It's a cool tool, but I just know so many C-suite people AI is the new hotness. It's going to do everything for us, and it's not. It will not, and it's actually going to end up backfiring. It's going to completely destroy a lot of businesses because they're going to rely on it too much, and it's going to absolutely suck. Hey, there's Gen X Life. 4 times. Game for you, job media, entertainment was massive. Yeah, YouTube, it is. It's a big equalizer. I understand that. Like, what I'm really looking forward to now, that, and this is one of the things that I would like to see about AI, is as the video creation side of it gets better, small creators that cannot afford a really amazing camera, can't afford a whole crew, all this kind of stuff. Like, somebody's trying to make a short movie. You're talking about 2 people. They've written something, but they don't have a lot of resources. Those are the kind of people that I think could benefit the most from trying to use small portions of AI to generate, establishing shots, or, generate backgrounds, things like that. Like, you don't want to have your entire movie shot that way, because it always does look a little uncanny valley. But people that have amazing ideas, new, fresh, original, creative ideas, but they don't have the tools to turn them in. And that's what the gaming industry right now has that the movie and show industry doesn't, is that you something like Hollow Knight, something like Silksong, small team, Treasure Knight, three dudes in a Kickstarter, and it's massive. Stardew Valley, one guy, took him 5 years to make that game, and continues to iterate upon it. They have the tools. You have Unity game engine. You have Unreal Engine with all of its bugs. You've got Godot. You've got all kind of stuff. You have the tools. If you have the willpower and a handful of people, you can make a game, and it can be a very successful game. And you have all the things that you can publish on Steam. You can generate your own buzz online, whatever. And they can, but movies and TV don't have that right now. And I do think that that's the next big. I think it's going to be a big thing, that YouTube is going to be the place for shows, short movies, things like that. And you will see some AI. You're going to see it because that's the tool that's going to allow people to make those things where they normally couldn't, because they can't afford the hardware and the software and all that kind of stuff. Like when I was coding, I was doing things with Unity. Unity's free, totally free, big, fully robust game engine. You just got to learn C# and there it is, right? And once you start making money, they'll charge you. But until you make $100,000 or something with a published game, they don't charge you a dime. So it's totally free. And that I think that's going to be the big thing is you'll start to see that people doing their own television series. And what'll be fun too is somebody was saying, like with the old internet, like people, it's too polished, too career driven. I do think that some of the ones will be successful will be very serious. They'll be like very well written. They'll have a couple of people that are really good actors, and then they'll be using some tools to get on YouTube and make shows. And then some of them will be sketch comedy that will just be stupid. Like I think that there will be like new Kids in the Hall. There will be new In Living Color type stuff where people are doing that, but they have the tools to make it look a little better and sound a little better than just you and your buddies on a phone in your backyard. And get over that hump where the viewer is like, yeah, this is fun, but like, I can't watch this camera shake all over the place. I can't listen to you sound a mile away and your friend sounds like the camera and microphone is in his mouth. I think that's the next big thing. And that's the like Gen X talking about, that's the next, when that starts to take off, the movie industry and the TV industry in New York, they're in trouble because people will just realize, oh, I can make my own episodic thing. And it won't take me 2 years to make, like some of these shows, like what was the Incredible on Amazon, or Invincible rather. Like they released a half a season, and then it was like a year later they released the other half a season. Last of Us Part 2 doesn't deserve a third season, but it's going to take them 2-3 years to make it because they haven't even started writing it. So you're going to have these small teams like this that are going to be putting out television shows that are going to be great. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the creativity. Just the freshness, getting out of what studio heads in New York think makes good television. And again, there'll be a lot of crap. There's gonna be a lot of crap, but there's gonna be some really, really good original things, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, War of the Worlds was amazing. What was funny is I heard all these things about it, and I had to watch it for the stream. And the first like 10-15 minutes, I thought, oh, that's not terrible. I mean, it's weird that he's on his computer, but I'm sure we'll get away from this, right? And then about 20 minutes, I realized like, oh God, we're going to continue to have Ice Cube on the computer. And as more characters got introduced, as the boyfriend Amazon truck driver got, like, as more things got added on, I was like, oh no, it's just getting so much worse. And Gen X gave $10. Congrats on the 100K. Thank you so much. Congrats to you on 70. Just out on my heels. I don't remember how much she emailed me one time. I think I had like 30,000. So I don't know, something, and was asking about making a channel. And like, for those of you that want the inspo, she was like, I'm gonna make a channel. I'll email this guy. And I had a few things that I had, like handful of things that I had learned at the time. And then she drove at it, and shit, that was like 2 years ago at 70K. It's awesome. Yeah, doing amazing. And covering, I know she's having troubles with copyright stuff, which sucks because old shows, especially, they're hard enough to find, and then the copyright system is a huge pain. But It is fun. It's fun looking back at the old shows too, and the behind the scenes stuff. Kevin said gardening is a hobby, don't have a lot of time. Try terrariums. Take care of themselves for months or even years if they make it right. That sounds kind of fun. And I bet they would look cool too. I'm going to read Wuthering Heights. It's one of those. I don't have any optimism for the movie. And apparently, so I haven't read this. My wife and a friend were talking about it last night, and I guess what the male character, like, he's supposed to be mixed, right? And that's like one of the dramas of the book as to why he's not accepted in society, because he's adopted, but he's a mixed kid. And so of all, like, we went on this tear of gender swapping, race swapping, all this kind of stuff. And then the time that, like, race is a plot point and you need to have it, you need to cast someone who is mixed race or black or something, like light skinned, whatever. And apparently they didn't. Like, and I haven't read the story, so I'm just getting the second hand, but I'm like, so the time that it makes sense and it's part of the book, you didn't do it. But then other times, you just do it at random. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But I am looking forward to that one. Oh, man. Yeah, Artemis Fowl was. So I haven't read that one. My kids watched that movie, and they were like, that was one of their first experiences of like, oh no, they screwed it up. That was their introduction to what did they do? Pardon me. I'm gonna bring the tea kettle in here. Oh yeah, Mansfield Park's another one that I think would be fun. Another. Ooh. Hey, there's Theo. I know Theo in real life. Yeah, the C.S. Lewis Space Trilogy he's talking about. I'm looking forward to those. It's Phobos says going to take. Yeah, McCarthy's not dry. It's earnest, and I think that's true. I think that he just cuts right to it. I think I was just surprised. I was surprised that I wasn't turned off by the style, because I like a little purplier, flowerier prose. I just tend to like that was one of the things I was reading Crime and Punishment. I was like, God, this is just beautiful. It's just beautifully written. I love the language. And I know somebody commented, they were like, that book was too long. Like, Dostoevsky didn't shut up. And I like, if that's not your thing, like, I totally get that. That's that subjective thing. But that's what stood out to me, is I was a fair ways into No Country for Old Men, and then it just kind of hit me like, this is not the typical style of writing that I like. And maybe it's because I was listening to it, but I do think that this is the kind of thing that I probably would say is bad. Like, I would probably judge this and be like, oh, that's bad writing. It's very dry, but it's just, it really, I was into it. I couldn't wait to hear where it went. Yeah, interesting stuff too. Like, Moss's death is not even, that was weird. It's just weird choices that worked. But like, on paper, if I was describing it to you, that you follow this character forever, and then when the drug cartel finally catches up to him, like, they barely even note that meeting when he finally does die. It's another character that discovers him, and there's like, oh, yep, there was a shootout, and there's a fella right. They don't even like describe him by name or anything. They're like, there's a fella right there. He's all shut up, and I don't know. It was crazy. If I described that, you would think, oh, that's a shitty book, but it wasn't. I don't know. I know I'm supposed to explain that stuff, like why it's good, and sometimes that is challenging, about like how to make videos and stuff, because I want to be able to explain why something is good, but I'm gonna have to read more of it. I'll read more of McCarthy to figure that out. Yeah, I know they're violent. Like, oh man, No Country opens up with, it's like 2 murders in the first 10 pages. Like, it's crazy. I do want to watch that movie now. I never did watch it with Javier Bardem and Tommy Lee Jones. I want to see that one though. But it just yeah, it was really, really good. So I was explaining that last night, because the friend of ours, she is a PhD in education, right? Yeah. So she's got this PhD in education, but now homeschools her kids like we do because she doesn't want to teach. But she was like, I love teaching, but I don't want to teach in school. Got this PhD. And she's like, I want to use this degree, but I don't want to go teach in school. And so actually right now, because of how busy she's trying to start up a service where she will check homeschool work and then do some tutoring, because that's our biggest struggle is we have all these kids and we have homeschool curriculum, but we don't always have time to like go back over and check it and everything. So she comes in, they're accountable. The kids like have a checkpoint twice a week. She comes in, and so she's trying to start that business. So we're her first customers there. But they were hanging out yesterday, and she was explaining, she was like, you must have listened to McCarthy because apparently he doesn't use punctuation. So she was like, he doesn't use punctuation in these books. Like, you don't know where the sentence is supposed to end. So I kind of want to buy a physical book there and check that out. I'm going to try that. Thanks, Pandabono. Thanks for the kind words. Thanks for being a member and everything. All the good ideas in the streams. I appreciate you hanging out today. Oh yeah, Kevin said Little Women. That's another one. That's a good classic there. I got to build that classic library because, like I said, I love the contemporary. I like the Witcher series. Those are great. Loved that Thrawn Star Wars series and stuff. So it's not like I'm above just regular old action fiction, whatever. But yeah, it's good to expand that. And something that really, especially with Crime and Punishment, something that really stuck out to me was that the author was talking about things that we still talk about. Like, and I know it sounds like obvious, like, yeah, the world's existed for more than the 40 years that you've been alive, dude, but it's just like easy to forget that the world is not so different. We always like to think, well, all the things were in unprecedented times and everything's different. And we're like, but really humans are still humans. And that was one of the things that stuck out to me the most in Crime and Punishment was, oh my God, this book was written in 1860. And these people are still behaving like all the other people still behave, right? Like human nature is still pretty unchanging. Situations change, technology changes, all that kind of stuff, but general attitudes, they really stuck out to me with that one. And I think that is something that clued me into like, oh yeah, I gotta read more of this old classic literature because it's just a good reminder that these ideas, these attitudes, these behaviors, all that kind of stuff, none of it's new. And it's refreshing. I gotta wrap this up. I gotta call him and help with that alternator. I like hanging out with you guys, but I gotta go. Well, my voice is starting to get scratchy. And I gotta go help with a car thing. Yeah, Dan said the AI problem is that people take it as the truth and don't question the outputs. Yeah, it's very true. I've asked it some questions and it's just straight up lied to me. It's just giving me totally false information, especially with math. Sometimes math is very like, it'll just give you wrong information. And so, yeah, you have to go back and forth with it. You can't just put in something and okay, here it is. I'll take what it put out. Dane also gave me 20 pounds. Thank you very much, sir. Small thank you for all the content you put out. It's helped me with the novel I'm writing, but give me food for thought. Well, I'm so glad it could be helpful. Trying to be entertaining, but when I can also be helpful, I think that's great. Thank you so much. Hey, I'm glad I can help as well. And I'm glad you're doing well. The videos are good. Yeah, I haven't gotten into the Louis Rossman thing about the YouTube and the Clippy thing. Like, I don't know why he's doing that, but I do like his videos. He's fun. All right, Luke, new to these, plan to become a member. So, well, I hope that you do, sir. We'll be having the member stream. I don't know what the next topic is. I mean, I think we might do a good trope, bad trope again on the next one. I got to pick a topic, but I hope to see you there. And I'm glad you're hanging out today. I appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys hanging out with me, but I'm starting to get scratchy at this point. So I'm going to wrap it up from here. I really, really appreciate everybody hanging out. I appreciate the super chats, and I just glad that I'm glad you guys like my stuff. I just it's very touching, and I'm very grateful that you guys continue to watch, you support, you comment, you show up for streams like this, you hang out. It just makes it fun. It makes the work enjoyable. And I'm looking forward to making a lot more fun videos, a lot more entertainment videos, and maybe some deep videos as well. So thank you guys so much for helping me get over 100K. Thanks for hanging out today. And thank you for continuing to support the channel. It just means so much. And I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you next time.